Welcome to Jackson Wilson's official rookie season in Major League Baseball 26 Road to the Show. It is the year 2028, and it's opening day around the MLB, and we've got interleague action right out of the chute. It's the Miami Marlins taking on the Oakland Athletics, and right away Jackson Wilson is going to have an opportunity to lock up his first save of the new year. Also, as you can see, I'm now rocking jersey number 17. Originally had 14, but they would no longer let me wear that. So, crowd is going crazy. We got a sellout. It feels like a playoff atmosphere here at Marlins Park. The Fish are in their throwback jerseys, and they're looking to celebrate a victory in front of this very deserving crowd. But it's on Jackson Wilson to get the final 3 outs. We're playing on GOAT difficulty, the hardest in this game. Let's get things started. Jackson Wilson last season had 15 saves after getting called up to the Marlins in the middle of the year. His first pitch of 2028 is a strike on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right in at the knees. The Marlins finished in last place in 2027, looking to turn a corner with all this young talent. The next pitch from Wilson is also a strike. That's a cutter that nibbled the inside corner, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes. Glad you're with us here on Ladder of Light Gaming. This is Jackson Wilson. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are new. Don't forget, Jesus Christ loves you guys. He's the way, the truth, and the life. And he is also the reason Jackson Wilson is here today. 1 down here in the top of the 9th inning as the Marlins look to start the season unbeaten. Bryson Stott makes the first out, and now here is Nick Kurtz. This Athletics team has been showing a lot of promise with all these young guns. They can put up runs in a hurry, but Wilson's trying to prevent any damage with the game on the line. Here's another one that's to the shortstop, but that's going to get by for a 1-out single. So Wilson gives up his first hit after recording his first out of 2028, and now in walks Tyler Soderstrom, who represents the tying run for the Oakland A's. Wilson ready from the stretch. Crowd waving the rally towels. Wilson throws. That's taken downstairs. Ball 1. It's 1-0. Soderstrom 1 for 3. He had an RBI single back in the second. Danielle, great to have you here, even though you're busy. Thankfully, I have a day off work, so I'll be able to get a lot more content to you guys later today. That's a strike over the inside edge. 1-1 from Jackson Wilson, who is appearing in his first full season in Major League Baseball. It was a midseason call-up for the Marlins back in 2027. He misses downstairs with that changeup. 2-1. Tying run at the plate for the A's here on opening day. It's Oakland against Florida. Wilson with the next delivery. Here it is. That's popped up into left field, and that is going to be caught for out number 2. Marlins are 1 out away from starting 2028 1-0. Last man standing for the A's is Brett Rooker. Catcher puts down a cutter. And that's what Wilson will throw right here. It's a perfect release, and it's strike 1 over the outside edge. Crowd on its feet for their young rising star, Action Jackson Wilson. He came out of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and was taken in the 3rd round of the 2025 draft. That gets away, and that'll advance the 5th Athletics run over to second base. However, that's an irrelevant tally to a certain extent. The one that truly matters is the batter at the plate. He represents the tying run. Runner at second, 2 down. Wilson ready. The pitch. Hit in the air to left field at the warning track. Left fielder has room, and he makes the catch. Rooker gave it a ride, but it dies at the wall. And the Marlins have an opening day victory, a final of 6-4. Jackson Wilson with his first save of 2028, his 16th of his big league career. If the Marlins are going to have a big turnaround this year, this is a good way to get it started. The 12th pick of the third round of the 2025 MLB draft gives up a hit, but no damage. The former North Carolina Tar Heel, now Miami Marlin, is on the board. Wilson looking to have a breakout season as one of the more promising rookies in the league. He led all rookies in saves a year ago. And that'll take us to the end of our first series. Again, this is Action Jackson Wilson with Ladder Blight Gaming. Great to have you guys on board. Starting to feel like summer. We're now in mid-May. School's going to be out soon. Also, I'm very open when it comes to conversation, so how about we get a little thread started of what your favorite summer activities are? What are you guys looking forward to the most? We'd love to know. And also don't forget to share whatever's on your mind. It's a judgment-free zone for Jesus Christ. Glad each and every one of you are here, and if you've yet to give your life to Jesus, I pray you do so now. It will be the best decision you make in your life. You want to go to a better place after death? You truly want to be free? Put your faith in His finished work that was done on the cross. His death and resurrection from the grave. That's the gospel. We all were born sinners. We needed a Savior, and Jesus came through for us. He never fails. If He can put up with me, He can certainly put up with y'all. So repent. Turn from your sin. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Everything we do on this channel is for Jesus, win or lose. And as you can see right now, went from being on the winning side to the loser's end in a matter of days. We're behind 7-2 here in the ninth inning against the New York Mets as Jackson Wilson looks to remain effective, although I don't know why the coach would put me in this kind of game. You know, down by 5 runs, I don't think this is really going to help us too much. But Jackson Wilson, he's out to dominate whenever his name is called and make his manager happy. Most importantly, keep the front office happy here in Miami. The 0-2 pitch, that is hammered down the left field line. It's going to go foul. Wilson fearlessly put a breaking ball in the zone to Francisco Alvarez. Made him take that bat off his shoulder. Now here comes an 0-2 delivery from Wilson. Ooh, that didn't miss by much. But it's inside, 1-2. Now we're going to go slider. Marlins trailing 7-2. Wilson trying to keep them as close as possible here down the stretch. That's down the left field line again. And another foul ball off the bat of Francisco Alvarez. Wilson making his second appearance of the new year, 2028. This is his official rookie season in Major League Baseball. Road to the show. And that's up the middle. Back to Wilson. Third baseman's going to track it down. That's going to be an infield single. Wilson caught it off the foot. And Alvarez starts this ninth inning off strong. And now Wilson is down on a knee. So Wilson, who had been dealing with a minor shoulder injury in the month of September last year, definitely shaken up, but it looks like he's going to stay in the game. To face Jesus Sanchez. How will that affect his pitching? That's taken inside for ball 1. That was a 95-mile-an-hour cutter to Jesus Sanchez, who is 1 for 2 with a single, an RBI, and a run scored. He struggled out of the gate. He's 4 out of his first 18. Trying to get some momentum as Wilson gives him the next delivery. That's lined over the shortstop and into left for a base hit, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Alvarez will go all the way to third. And it's second and third with nobody out here in the top of the ninth for the Mets, who have been in total control of this game from the outset. Again, I don't know why Coach put me in this game, but we're just going to have to live with it. Some days it's not going to be your night. Got to be able to battle through the adversity, and right now, Wilson's got his first jam of 2028. First pitch to Carson Benj is flied in the air to left center. That's trouble, and that's going to go all the way to the wall. Both runs are going to score, and the Mets lead 9-2 in the ninth. And now the throw gets away from the third baseman, and that's going to be a stand-up triple for Carson Benj. So Wilson gives up his first 2 runs of 2028. The Mets now lead at 9-2, and now Simeon will walk to the plate. And again, the catcher will go out to have a word with Jackson Wilson. First pitch to Marcus Simeon is outside for a ball. So Wilson has given up 3 straight hits to open the 9th inning. He gave up a single, then back-to-back, actually not back-to-back doubles. He gave up a single, a double, and a triple. And here's a ground ball into the hole, but the second baseman has no play. He was able to knock it down, but Wilson gives up another. 4 straight hits here in the top of the 9th inning, and now the manager's going to take him out. You know what, Coach? This is on you. Honestly, this was a big waste of time. Not only did I get roughed up, but it's a game that we were already down 5 runs in. Why would you put me in for this? I'm supposed to be a closer or somebody who throws in a tie game. So Wilson is relieved. The Mets come up with 5 in the top of the 9th, and they beat the Marlins by a final of 12-2. The win for Cutter Crawford, the loss for Will Warren, and the Marlins, who took the opener, got speared the next night. 4 earned runs given up by Wilson in that 9th inning. Now we'll see if they can put me in a save situation so I can get some momentum restored. Putting me in those games when the game's already out of it, that's no good for my mojo or my momentum. It's just not. I mean, I'll do whatever the coach asks me to, but oh my gosh. All right. Put it behind us and get the next one. More bullpen session for Jackson Wilson. Continuing to develop that control. All right, here's a save situation for Wilson. This team has done a nice job of giving him a nice cushion to sit on. 5-2 fish here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Wilson with the save would level the Marlins record at 4-4. But there's a lot of unfinished business ahead. The toughest outs to get in the game are the last 3. And that's Wilson's responsibility as the young closer of the Miami Marlins. He will enter in his alternate road black uniform. And so here are the Giants. The majority of their fans have already headed for the exits, but many have stuck around hoping for a miracle. Here's Eldridge with that big strike zone, and Wilson takes full advantage of it. Starts him out at 0-1. Wilson, who picked up a save in his first opportunity. That was on opening day against the Oakland A's. Yeah, I still call them the Oakland A's. I know now they're the Las Vegas A's, but it's kind of like the Las Vegas Raiders. It just doesn't sound the same. 1-1 coming. There's a pop down the left field line by Bryce Eldridge. That's going to fall out of play. Good hustle by the Marlin left fielder to get over there. But Eldridge stays alive. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now Wilson going to look to put him away right here on the slider. And he does! Caught him looking right at the knees, and Eldridge had no clue what he was doing in that box. Wilson increasing that control. He's got 5 pitches in his arsenal, and when they are right, he is a master at painting the corner, and that's what you saw right there. 1 down here in the 9th inning. The Marlins up by 3. Here is Heliot Ramos. That's a changeup missing downstairs, 1-0. That'll definitely spike Wilson's confidence. As you can see, we now have that larger meter. That's what happens when your confidence levels go up. The 1-0 pitch.
Nope, that's away.
That is away, according to the umpire. But Wilson's going to ask him to take another look. And the call was correct. It's outside for ball 2. It's 2-0 to Heliot Ramos. Will he be taking a strike in this situation? Nope, he's swinging away, and Wilson went after him. And he's rewarded for it. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 9th inning here at San Francisco. Wilson trying to start out saving his first 2 opportunities in his rookie season with the Miami Marlins. Here is Casey Schmidt. Last hope for the Giants, trailing by 3. Wilson's going to give him a first pitch slider, and he pops it in the air to right field. Right fielder has to go back a few, and it's off the wall. Boy, that just kept on carrying off of Casey Schmidt's bat. Fooled me. I thought that was going to be out number 3. But the game's going to continue for San Francisco. First pitch slider. Schmidt put some good wood on that. He's able to get it on the barrel. And now in walks Patrick Bailey. He's 1 for 3 with a double. He needs to reach to get the tying run to the plate for San Francisco against Jackson Wilson, who is in his second save opportunity of his rookie campaign here in 2028. He's just focusing on getting this batter out. I don't care how he does it. Patrick Bailey, the last hope for the Giants. Rips the first pitch foul and out of play, strike 1. That was a 95-mile-an-hour cutter from Jackson Wilson. Now here's the next. Strike 2. And about that same spot. You're not looking for it. That fastball is going to be by you every time. Now the 0-2 pitch from Jackson Wilson is taken downstairs. Good patience by Patrick Bailey. It's 1-2. Runner at second, 2 down. Bottom of the 9th inning. Wilson trying to lock up the save here in San Francisco. Both of his saves would be in Battle of the Bay. He knocked off the Athletics, and now he's looking to knock off the Giants. Breaking ball outside. Just barely. 2-2. So Bailey trying to work his way back into this count. Extend the game. 2-2 from Wilson. On the ground to second. Wilson is 2 for 2 in save opportunities to begin 2028. He had a rough outing in a non-save situation against the Mets a couple days ago, but he's got his confidence back. Wilson has 17 saves overall since joining the Miami Marlins in the middle of last year. And on GOAT difficulty, we're definitely holding our own. Wilson's given up a hit in each of his save opportunities, but no runs. That's all that matters. Keeping the opposition off the board and locking up a victory for your team. Getting the toughest outs of any game, which is the final 3. Solid game for the Marlins overall as Jackson Wilson cuts his ERA in half. It was 36 following that rough outing against the Mets. But if we can string a couple of these together, we'll take that down really, really fast. Here comes Wilson for another appearance against San Francisco. You can see he saved both of his save opportunities thus far. He's making his 4th appearance for the Miami Marlins, who just improved their record to 500 at 4-4. And now they have a chance to go over, leading 6-4 in the bottom of the 9th. Jason Dominguez will lead it off for the Giants. Looking for some late magic against the young and scrappy Wilson. First pitch swinging Dominguez down on a knee. It's fouled away, strike 1. It's the thing about Jackson Wilson. He's not afraid to go after hitters early. And that's what you're seeing here in 2028. That's a good pitch on 0-1. A changeup that drifts below the knees. It's 1-1. Wilson has told the social media that he was throwing a couple of pitches too high last year. He was also missing his spots. It was going to take a great deal of work to get where he wanted to be. And you're already starting to see better results from Jackson Wilson. We're slowly but surely getting our attributes up. Got a 1-2 count. Now the next pitch from Wilson. See you later. Nasty cutter that drifted away from a left-handed batter. Dominguez down on strikes. That pitch looked like it was in the middle of the plate, but it was out of sight by the time he went around. And now here is Bryce Eldridge. Eldridge batting in the number 7 spot for the Giants. He'll bat against Wilson here in the 9th. It's a second opportunity against Wilson for his career. And he goes after a fastball and curls one down the left field line, and it's going to go foul. Hernandez gave chase. Didn't really have much of a shot at it, but he still showcased great hustle. Now the 0-1. See, look how much more movement is on that slider from Jackson Wilson. That misses inside. It's 1-1. A lot of fans have stuck around for the bottom of this 9th inning. Giants down to their final 2 outs, trailing by 2 runs. Strike 2 from Jackson Wilson, who has had Bryce Eldridge frozen. Both times he has faced him. Going to try to put him away for out number 2. 1-2 delivery. Changeup. Just got a piece. Eldridge gets another life. Here comes another changeup from Jackson Wilson. On its way. The pitch. Perfect release. On the ground to first. Wilson's got to get over there quickly. And he's there. 2 down. Great teamwork by the Marlins. Norby with a great stop over at first, and Wilson with great athleticism off the mound. The former cross-country runner is able to get over there and cover for out number 2. He's looking for a quick 9th inning. Last man standing for the Giants, Casey Schmidt. Perfect pitch from Wilson. Starts him out with a strike. Schmidt out in front of the cutter. He was looking fastball, but Wilson's starting to stray away from that first pitch heater. Now the 0-1. Big bar, and that's just off the plate. 1-1. Wilson trying to start this season with a bang. Save his first 3 opportunities. If you take away that one rough outing against the Mets, he has been untouchable. That's taken downstairs. A breaking ball on the dirt. It's 2-1. Marlins leading 6-4, bottom of the 9th inning. Wilson once out away and putting the Marlins above 500 at 5-4. There's strike 2 to Casey Schmidt. A beautiful slider that caught the bottom of the strike zone. And now Wilson's going to go up and in with the fastball. Good time for it here. The 2-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Right on the edge. Jackson Wilson with pinpoint control. Starting to master it, and he picks up his 3rd save in the first 2 weeks of the 2028 campaign for the Miami Marlins. He's also got a strikeout rate of 20%. That's the highest it's ever been in his career. On average, Wilson strikes out 1 out of every 5 batters he goes up against. And he has been dominant ever since the calendar flipped to April. Opening day was a little bit earlier this year. It was in late March. And Wilson actually got roughed up by the Mets to end the month of March. That was in a non-save situation. But it wasn't just Wilson that got torn up that game. Everybody did. The Marlins gave up 12 runs as a collective, and Wilson coughed up 4 in the 9th inning in a game that was already decided with the Mets leading by 5. But now Wilson's being put in save situations. He didn't quite get a chance to play against the Dodgers, but you best believe I'm going to be needed against San Diego. If we can get back in the win column, that is. I'm still not expecting much from the Marlins in terms of playoffs. I signed a 2-year extension in the offseason, but we'll see what the future holds. Big spot right here against San Diego. We got a 6-6 game in the 9th. Wilson's going to try to set the table for the Marlins in the bottom half, give them a chance to walk this off without much pressure. The Padres are going to get their bullpen ready just in case. Jackson Wilson did not look good in his last non-save situation. So you best believe he's looking for some redemption here today against San Diego in what has been an evenly matched game. 6-11-1 Padres, 6-10-0 Marlins across the board. Part of the order for San Diego beginning with Andrew Vaughn, and Wilson starts him out with a fastball off the plate. It's 1-0. Now the 1-0. Change up, that misses off the plate. 2-0 to Andrew Vaughn. Wilson's next pitch. Here it comes. There's a strike. Look at the movement on that cutter. Had that little slingshot action. The 2-1 to Vaughn. Swing and a miss. So Vaughn has seen 4 of the 5 pitches in Jackson Wilson's arsenal, and guess what? He's going to see the 5th one. It's going to be the breaking ball. And he lays off it. Full count to Andrew Vaughn, who's trying to get on or give the Padres the lead with one swing of the bat. Wilson's going to give him the changeup on the payoff. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Vaughn frustrated. He had the 2-0 advantage. Wilson came back to get him. That's a big first out here in the 9th inning for the Marlins as the strikeout rate continues to climb for Jackson Wilson. Despite being a low overall at 56, he's doing everything in his power to make a name for himself here in the majors. We're playing on GOAT difficulty for anybody that may be new. We've been through a lot of adversity, but we're conquering it thus far. Now here is Manny Machado. Strike one from Jackson Wilson. Not afraid to give Machado that first pitch fastball. Machado has been red hot here tonight. He's 3 out of 4 with a pair of singles and a double. Wilson trying to cool him off. Keep this game even. Up the middle, a base hit. Manny Machado handled a Wilson slider, and he represents the go-ahead run with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. 4-hit game for Manny Machado. His average continues to climb. It's in the upper sector of Major League Baseball in the early going. It was 315 prior to that at bat. Now it's got to be close to 350. Now Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, the Marlins looking for the double play ball. That looked like a strike as Wilson painted the outside corner with that fastball, but the umpire saw it correctly. Wilson went to the ABS system to try to get a reversal, but no luck. Let's see if we can't get a double play right here. A twin killing with Kiner-Falefa, the pitch. That's a good one from Wilson. Slider over the inside corner, 1-1. Now we go breaking ball. Wilson from the stretch, the pitch. In the dirt, Machado is going to stay put over there at first base. 2-1 from Jackson Wilson. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Wilson entered in a 6-6 game. Trying to keep it level, give the Marlins a chance to win in the bottom of this frame. Back to Wilson. He's going to go 2. There's 1 and 2. A double play. Wilson is able to start the 1-4-3. Twin killing. Machado with a 1-out single, but it's wiped off by the Marlins defense. Miami with a chance to win it in the bottom of this 9th. And they are walking away victorious. Jackson Wilson picks up his 3rd career victory as a pitcher. Miami over San Diego in walk-off fashion, 8-6. Wilson does his thing, and he's rewarded for it. You guys don't remember, if you weren't there the previous stream, I had a lot of frustration and a lot of venting because I could not get any support from the offense late in games when it came to picking up wins. But so far, it's looking like a different story, even though our record still isn't the most attractive. The Marlins, who got swept by the Dodgers, I'm almost certain, complete the comeback against the Padres. And they start off this series on a high note. It's much needed. And that looked like that might have been our only victory of the weekend. Want to wish you guys a happy Tuesday here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Hope it has been a terrific Tuesday for all of you. This is Jackson Wilson coming to you live here on his off day from work. Double stream. MLB The Show first, and tonight, episode 4 of The Walking Dead, A New Frontier. Be sure to stay on board for that. Like, comment, and subscribe. Top of the 9th inning as we begin a new series here on MLB Road to the Show. Jackson Wilson, the closer of the Miami Marlins, officially in his rookie season. Trying to go 4 out of his first 4 in terms of locking up a save. And again, the Marlins giving him a comfortable cushion. It's definitely relieving for a closer, because pitching in 1-run games, that could certainly take a toll on you, especially when those situations become consistent. There's a look at Jackson Wilson. He's got a 22.2 strikeout rate. He's picked up saves in each of his 3 opportunities. A chance at save number 4 as Wilson looks to protect the 5-2 lead against the Buccos. Marlins once again wearing their classic Marlin threads. And first pitch swinging and a base hit to begin the top half of the 9th inning for Lenyn Sosa. So the Pirates need one more base runner to bring the tying run to the plate. Here is Jake Mangum. Wilson kicks and delivers.
Ball one.
That's over the outside corner, but call the ball. Wilson's going to make sure. And lo and behold, the umpire got it wrong. Good way to start the AB if you're Jackson Wilson. He's going to go breaking ball to Jake Mangum. Wilson with the pitch.
Ball, no.
It's a beauty, but Mangum is able to keep the bat on his shoulder. 1-1 the count. If Mangum would have swung at that, Fry would have grounded into a double play. That was a wise move on his part. Now the 1-1 from Wilson. Inside. 2 balls and a strike. Jackson Wilson, who was drafted 3rd round by the Miami Marlins back in 2025. Now playing in his official rookie campaign in 2028. 2-1 pitch in the dirt. Runner's going to stay put. It's 3-1 with nobody out here in the 9th inning. Connor Griffin is on deck. He hopes to get a shot representing the tying run. One more out of the strike zone, and he'll get that wish. But Wilson is here to fight. That looked like strike 2. Hitter, you better come back. Yep. Umpire was going to give him first base, but Jackson Wilson with his second clutch challenge of the AB. And now he's going to try to make the most of it. 3-2 pitch to Mangum. Struck him out! What a turn of events for Jake Mangum. He was on his way to first base, but Wilson told the umpire to take a look at the ABS. He got the second strike, and then he gets Mangum swinging on the changeup. Boy, that was clutch and a big first out here in the 9th inning, because otherwise the tying run would have been standing at the plate with home run power for Pittsburgh. It's Connor Griffin, and now strike 1 from Jackson Wilson on a slider. That slide piece came in at 87 miles per hour. Now Wilson into the line, the 0-1. Another perfect release. The runner again is going to have to retreat back to first. Catcher checks on him. Tried to pull a Yadier Molina signature move out of his back pocket. Molina was the king at catching people napping behind the plate. 1-1 pitch from Wilson. Fly ball into the gap in right center field by Connor Griffin. That's going to get down. It's going to one-hop the wall, and that's going to score 1 run for Pittsburgh. That big alleyway in Miami could definitely be kryptonite for this Marlin defense. And now Pittsburgh's got life. The tying run is coming to the plate with 1 out here in the 9th inning. And it will be Ryan Jeffers, who has left the yard 3 times already. And he's got that average of 360. And now the catcher is going to come out and have a word with Jackson Wilson, who gave up a single to right and then an RBI double to right center after picking up a strikeout. Now the pitch to Jeffers. There's strike 1. Jeffers has been solid with runners in scoring position, batting .444. Trying to stay hot here in the 9th inning against Wilson. Breaking ball, strike 2. Now Wilson's going to try to put him away at the slider. 0-2 pitch to Jeffers.
That's the ball.
Thought about it. He was able to lay off. 1-2 from Jackson Wilson. Jeffers representing the tying run here in the 9th inning for Pittsburgh. 1-2 delivery from Wilson. Doesn't bite on the fish hook. 2-2 the count. Wilson going to go with another slider. 2-2 pitch to Jeffers. Ground ball to the right side. Second baseman knocks it down, but he has no play at first base. And now the tying run is on for Pittsburgh. And the go-ahead run is coming to the plate. Good pitch by Wilson. He got the slow ground ball, but the second baseman, who was in double play depth, he played it incorrectly. And now here is Jared Triolo. All of a sudden, that 3-run lead for Pittsburgh is looking small. Wilson has got a battle right here. Strike 1 to Jared Triolo. He's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout and a pair of groundouts. Wilson would love another groundout, which would more than likely result in a double play. That's the pitch he goes with. It's taken outside to Jared Triolo. I tell you what, for being at the bottom of the order, these 2 hitters have done very, very well in this spot for Pittsburgh with runners in scoring position. 1-1 from Wilson.
Ball.
Off the plate. Good IQ by Triolo. 2 balls and a strike. Now Wilson's going to challenge him right here. The 2-1 pitch to Triolo. Rip foul. Wilson gave him the fastball in on the hands. It's 2-2. Now he's going to go breaking ball. 2-2 pitch to Triolo. Tapper to second. This could end it. 1 and safe at first base. Another run scores for Pittsburgh. They've cut the 3-run lead to 1. It's 5-4, and now the manager is going to take Wilson out. So Wilson, unfortunately, could not get the 3 outs needed for the save, but his team is still leading with 1 out to go as Wilson heads for the showers. Wilson gives up 2 runs on a couple of hits and also retires 2. And now it's going to be on Cade Gibson to lock this up. And the Pirates have come all the way back to take a 6-5 lead, and they have won this game. So Jackson Wilson, who entered this game with a 3-run lead, the manager elects to take him out, and Cade Gibson takes the loss. Wow, that's a frustrating L for the Marlins. But give the Pirates credit. They found holes when they needed to. Wilson's ERA climbs a little bit. It's at 13.5. All right, a chance at a little redemption here. A positive is we're still perfect in save opportunities. We just had a hold in that previous outing. This time around, the game is tied. It's on Wilson. Keep the game even. Give us another chance at a walk-off win. First pitch to Isaac Paredes. Misses for ball 1. Wilson elected to go with the cutter at 95 miles per hour. Now he's going to go fastball. 1-0 coming. Strike 1 to Isaac Paredes. Wilson, who already has a victory under his belt this year, trying to give himself an opportunity for another one. Here's a ground ball to the shortstop. This should end the inning. And it does. So Wilson's assignment was to just simply get his man. He had 2 outs and nobody on. He does just that. Marlins coming to bat with a chance to get some redemption against Pittsburgh. And they will do it. Another walk-off win for Jackson Wilson and the Miami Marlins. 2 victories for Jackson Wilson in bullpen relief. The Marlins hit the Pirates with a taste of their own medicine. It may not have been a walk-off because they were on the road, but Pittsburgh now knows what it's like to be on the other side of some late inning magic. Jackson Wilson improving to 2-0 on the season. He's now 4-8 in his career. The Pirates win the series, but the Marlins do avoid the sweep. And Wilson played a key role in that, getting that crucial 3rd out in the top of the 9th inning. Hey, we'll take it. I think we definitely deserve a couple of victories after all the wasted efforts we had a year ago. The ERA definitely isn't attractive for Wilson right now. It's at 12.6. But overall, Jackson Wilson, he's been doing his thing in terms of locking up saves. And now he's getting ready to face a team that gave him fits a season ago. The Philadelphia Phillies. Kiko Lowlams, if you're watching, there's your team. Kiko Lowlams, I remember him telling me he was a Phillies fan. The Phillies are starting to get things turned around in the real MLB. They fired their manager and they brought in Don Mattingly. I think they're 16-4 ever since. I think we may have another contender in Philly this year. They better, especially since they still have the big 3 in Schwarber, Turner, and Harper. All right, here we go. Top of the 9th inning. Jackson Wilson, who is 3 for 3 in save opportunities, is a rookie for the Miami Marlins. We'll look to wrap up this victory and give the Marlins a victory and help them salvage a game in this 3-game set. The Marlins are trying to avoid yet another sweep. They're definitely not going in the right direction in terms of improving. But Jackson Wilson, as you can see, He's had some adversity per usual. He's got a 12.6 ERA, but when the game has absolutely mattered, Wilson has delivered. He's got a 2-0 record, and he's been able to save all 3 of his previous opportunities, trying to make it 4 for 4 with a 1-run lead against the bottom of the Phillies order. But that doesn't mean anything for 2 reasons. One, we're on GOAT difficulty, and also Jung-Hoo Lee is not your typical 7-hitter. He originally had the day off, but he's going to be asked to be pinch hitting here in the 9th inning. And he singles to begin the 9th. So there's life for the Phillies here on the final stretch, as Lee was able to hit on that first pitch fastball from Jackson Wilson that came in at 98 miles per hour. Now Aiden Miller, who had a couple of game-winning hits against Jackson Wilson a season ago, trying to be the hero once again, and Wilson misses outside for ball 1. Miller is 0 for 3. He flied out back in the 2nd. He's got a home run for his only RBI this year, and he's hitting .207. Tying run at first base. Nobody out. The pitch by Wilson. Strike 1 to Aiden Miller. Crowd on their feet here in Miami. Plenty of Philly fans here as well, making noise, and that is barely off the inside corner. It's 2-1 to Aiden Miller. Wilson kicks and deals. Ground ball to third. To second for 1. On to first. And safe. So we got a fielder's choice. 5-4. Tying run remains at first. And now here is Christian Cairo. 1 on with 1 out. Wilson and the Marlins leading the Phillies 3-2. That's ripped down the line. Foul. Again, the Phillies up there ready to hit. They're aggressive on the first pitch. And Cairo nearly had a potential game-tying double had that gone to the corner fair. Now Wilson goes away with a slider, 1-1. Cairo today is 1 for 3. Trying to come up big for the Phillies here in the 9th. Strike 2. As Wilson gives him a cutter over the inside corner. Catcher puts down a breaking ball. Wilson in the line, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. The tying run is going to move to second base, however. So it's not completely a lost cause for Philadelphia. As you can see, Wilson frustrated with his catcher for not being able to stop that. But at the same time, that was some wicked stuff. You can't fully blame the catcher. It's a tough pitch to corral. And now here is Trey Turner, the last man standing for Philadelphia. Wilson with the pitch. Slider swung on and missed for strike 1. Wilson trying to remain perfect and save opportunities. He's 3 out of his first 3 here in his rookie season. He's 1 strike away as he fooled Trey Turner on those first 2 pitches. A slider, a breaking ball, and Turner, who is a free swinger, is up against the wall right here. 0-2, tying run at second base. The pitch by Wilson, and Turner lays off. 1-2 the count. Marlins 1 strike away from a victory, trying to salvage a game in this 3-game set and avoid a sweep at the hands of their rival, the Phillies. The 1-2 from Jackson Wilson, down and away. Again, he fails to put away Trey Turner. The count was 0-2, and now it's even, 2-2. Crowd ready to explode here in Florida. The Phillies trying to spoil it for Wilson yet again, as they did on multiple occasions last season. But Wilson finally gets redemption. Trey Turner was hustling down the line. There definitely was a chance at an infield single, but Jackson Wilson holds off the Phillies, and the Marlins as a team avoid the sweep. 3-2 is the final, and Jackson Wilson remains perfect as a rookie. Technically, it's my second year in the bigs, but I was called up mid-season in 2027. But as you can see, we got 2 victories. We may not be in the playoffs right now, but it's at least better than last year, because the Marlins in 2027 were absolutely horrendous. Couldn't give me any run support to save my life. What a job by Jackson Wilson, clutching up and retiring the great Trey Turner with a runner in scoring position and 2 down. That'll most certainly help his ERA. As you can see, the Marlins off to a shaky start overall. Currently sitting in 4th place in the East, 7.5 games behind the Braves. I imagine we're also a good 5-6 games out of a wild card spot. But it's only April. It's early in the season. Plenty of time for us still to make noise. And now Jackson Wilson's going to have an opportunity to pay back the Pittsburgh Pirates for what they did to him in the last series. Wilson didn't blow the save, but he came in with a 3-run lead, and the Pirates tagged him for 2 runs before Wilson was pulled with 2 outs. Then his teammate comes in, and he surrenders 2 runs of his own, allowing the Pirates to take a lead and win the game. Wilson's ERA has shrunk to 10.5. He's 4 for 4 in save opportunities, and he's going to be asked for a 4-out save here today. He enters to face Brian Reynolds here in the bottom of the 8th with a tying run at first base and 2 outs for the Buccos. Here at PNC Park in Pittsburgh, runner goes, strike 1 from Wilson, and that's an easy steal. I imagine the Pirates went with a pinch runner. No, that's Connor Griffin. He was probably in the starting lineup. Boy, he got down there quickly. Marlins had no chance at him, despite Wilson throwing the fastball. Now there's the tying run. The 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. Wilson trying to get out of this, however, and he almost does. He got a pop up in foul ground. None of the fielders couldn't quite get to it. Now the 0-2 to Reynolds. In the dirt. Griffin, the tying run, will retreat back to second base. Griffin was at first when Wilson entered this game. And on the first pitch he threw, Griffin stole second. And Wilson trying to work around it right here, the 1-2 pitch. Reynolds takes inside. 2-2 from Jackson Wilson. Chance of let's go Bucks. And this large crowd here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 2-2 from Wilson. Swinging a ground ball down the first base line. That's going to go foul. We'll do it again. Reynolds was in protect mode. Wilson trying to put him away right here. 2-2 coming. Cutter popped in the air to center. Long run for the center fielder. And it's going to be caught to end the bottom half of the 8th. It was a jam shot. The Pirates would hope it would drop. But the Marlins keep the lead. Pirates strand the tying run at second. We go to the 9th inning. Wilson will try to earn his 5th save. The Marlins leading by a run. Big bats coming up for the Pirates, beginning with Spencer Horwitz. First pitch from Jackson Wilson. Check swing, he went around. Strike 1. Wilson knew that the Pirates were going to go with the aggressive approach. So he went with the cutter. Looks like a fastball, but it breaks inside on you at the last second. Here's a pool cue shot out beyond short. This should be playable, 1 out. So Horwitz was completely tied in a knot as Wilson completely embarrassed him with that slider. 1 away in the 9th. Here's Isaac Paredes. Wilson's effectiveness increasing as well as his confidence. Look at that fat bar. Strike 1 to Isaac Paredes. 4-3 Marlins, bottom of the 9th inning here at PNC Park. Marlins trying to snap a losing streak and finish off the Bucks. Ripped down the left field line, and that is down, and that's going to be a long single for Isaac Paredes. Unlike Marlins Park, it's a short field down each of these lines. And with a slow-footed Paredes, Wilson and the Marlins caught a break. That ball was hit well. Landed about 15 feet in front of the wall. And now here is Nick Gonzalez, who will come off the bench and run with O'Neal Cruz coming up next. We're going to go first pitch breaking ball to him.
That's a ball.
That's taken inside 1-0. O'Neal Cruz, 4 out of 17 in this series. 2 of those 4 hits have been today. He also has an RBI to his credit. The 1-0 from Jackson Wilson. Ripped into right. That's a base hit. Tying run will go to second base, and O'Neal Cruz, the winning run, is now at first. So Wilson, who has been super effective in the early part of the season, got more adversity coming his way against Pittsburgh. Cruz not fooled by that changeup. He pulls it through the right side with great velocity, and now here is Lenyn Sosa. We need a double play right here. First pitch slider coming up from Jackson Wilson. Here it is. Tap foul at the plate, strike one to Sosa. Marlins leading 4-3, but the Pirates are knocking on the door against Wilson here in the ninth. The 0-1. That's inside and low, but Wilson wants to take another look. That ABS system, that thing looked like it was right on the corner, and Wilson was correct. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes in what is a crucial at-bat for Lenyn Sosa. 0-2 coming from Wilson. Ground ball to second. There's one. On to first. Double play. Marlins win it. Jackson Wilson still perfect. 5 for 5 in save opportunities in his first official rookie season. We asked for the double play, and by golly, we got it. It was a tough one, but the Pirates' lack of speed came back to bite them. It started with that double into the left field corner, a quote-unquote double that was actually a single. Any other player besides Paredes, that probably would have been a 2-bagger. But instead, he had to hold over there at first. Cruz got a base hit to move him up. But the very next hitter, Cruz, or rather, what was his name again? I forgot. But either way, he couldn't lay off that pitch off the plate. And as a result, he grounded into a fatal twin killing. Great job by Jackson Wilson, and an equally good job by the Marlins defense. I mean, disregarding that 8.59 ERA, Jackson Wilson has been pretty crisp, especially in save situations. It's the non-save situations which we've given up the majority of our tallies. All right, a chance at more redemption against Philly. Wilson trying to continue his ownage of the state of Pennsylvania. Picked up a save in Pittsburgh. Now he's looking to do the same at Philly. The Marlins definitely need it, already being 6 games under 500 at 10-16. So in the bottom of this 10th, the Phillies will have the big hitters, you would think, with Trey Turner leading off. Citizens Bank Park, the home of the Philadelphia Phillies, been relatively quiet all afternoon. But it's never too late, especially for these Philly bats. They can put up runs in a hurry. And this sellout crowd stands anticipating a rally. Trey Turner, who made the final out the previous game that Wilson pitched against Philadelphia, looks for some redemption here on his home field. That's taken for a ball inside, 1-0. So an unearned run standing over at second base. In the bottom of the 10th inning, the Marlins leading 3-0. Wilson with the next pitch on the way to Trey Turner's. That looked like a strike, umpire. It was belt high. Trey Turner laid off it, but Wilson shaking his head. He can't believe it. That's right on the top shelf. And that's going to be an overturned call. 1-1. Trey Turner trying to get on and bring the tying run to the plate. Ground ball to third. That's a fair ball. The runner is going to hold over at second. 1 down. And a big one for Jackson Wilson. He's now retired Trey Turner in each of his last 2 plate appearances. Now here is Bryce Harper. Boy, it has been a day to forget for him. 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. As a matter of fact, in his only at-bat against Wilson, he struck out on 3 pitches. The first pitch, check swing, he went around, strike 1. Jackson Wilson leading 3-0 in the bottom of this 10th. Here in Philadelphia. The pitch on the way. Harper fooled on the slider. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. The Phillies, who had Wilson's number in 2027, having a lot tougher time here in 2028. Wilson's coming with a vengeance, and that nearly missed to Bryce Harper. And Wilson says, go take another look. And Bryce Harper is called out on strikes. What mastery from Jackson Wilson, painting like Picasso. That runner remains at second base, and the Phillies remain off the board, at least for the time being. They could still change that narrative with Kyle Schwarber coming to the plate. First pitch from Wilson is a beauty, strike one. Kyle Schwarber taking in this situation. He knows that the Phillies need another base runner to have a chance. The pitch. That's a strike over the inside corner. Schwarber says, take another look. And it's another missed call by our home plate umpire. 1-1 the count. Wilson ready from the stretch. He kicks and deals. Breaking ball, swung on and missed by Schwarber. Phillies down to their final strike. 3-0 Marlins, bottom of the 10th. Wilson, who has saved each of his first 5 save opportunities, looking to go 6 for 6. Schwarber stays alive. 1-2. The sellout crowd begging for something to cheer for. Wilson trying to break their hearts. The delivery. Schwarber keeps the Phillies alive, and he takes Wilson deep here in the 10th. So Kyle Schwarber, who was fooled on the previous slider, was able to shorten up. And now the Phillies are a second big swing away from tying this game. What a blast from Kyle Schwarber. Now JT Realmuto. Wilson still has the lead. And a ground ball foul down the third base line. Strike one to JT Realmuto. Wilson gave up a 2-run homer with 2 outs. His team is still leading by a run. Swing and a miss by Realmuto. And again, the Phillies are down to their final strike. They gave their fans something to cheer for, scoring their first 2 runs on a 2-out, 2-run blast by Kyle Schwarber. Wilson now deals with Realmuto. That's a breaking ball outside, 1-2. The save is still alive for Jackson Wilson. He bent here in the 10th. He's trying not to break. The delivery. That gets away. 2-2 to JT Realmuto. Realmuto has home run power. Got to be careful with him. 2-2 coming from Wilson. Tapper foul, and Realmuto stays alive. Got to give the Phillies credit. They're not going away. They're making it tough for Wilson here in the ninth. Another 2-2 to Realmuto. Hammered down the line. That's going to go foul. He was sitting on a fastball, but Wilson gave him the changeup. Another 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to third. And the Marlins survive. The Phillies finally get on the board in the bottom of the 10th thanks to a 2-run dinger from Kyle Schwarber. But Jackson Wilson came in with that 3-0 lead. He made it stick out. That's 6 for 6 in save opportunities for the Miami Marlins right-hander. Only one of those runs were earned. And Miami is victorious. Wilson's been reliable in terms of getting the final 3 outs with his team in the lead. The ERA still isn't the best. It's at 8.64. But like I've said multiple times throughout this stream, the majority of the runs that we've been tagged with are appearances in which our team was already pretty much out of the game. Like 4 of the runs I gave up this season were in one game against the Mets, in which we were already losing that game 7-2. You take away that appearance, my ERA would be great. But, as they say, every effort counts. Just got to live with it. But we're battling through the adversity, guys. We're on GOAT difficulty here on MLB The Show. Road to the Show 26, hosted by yours truly, Action Jackson Wilson. Like, comment, and subscribe. Anybody's support is definitely appreciated. Another pressure situation coming up for Wilson against the Dodgers. The Dodgers will lead things off with Mookie Betts. Looking to spear the fish here down the stretch. To be honest, I wish Miami would make these their full-time uniforms. And also bring back the original Florida Marlins logo, as you see on the left sleeve. That's what I miss about my childhood. You know, how everything used to be, like the logos, the team names, the traditions. My childhood was a great time to be a sports fan. Heck, today it still is. I'm remaining a kid at heart, for sure. Top of the order for the LA Dodgers in a 6-6 game against Jackson Wilson. That's taken outside on a slider. Ball 1 to Mookie Betts. Here's a 1-0. Betts fouls it away. 1-1 the count from Jackson Wilson, who has pitched well in these spots. His team needs him in a tie game. He's delivered. And the offense has rewarded him with back-to-back walk-off victories. Can we get number 3 here today? As Jackson Wilson retires Mookie Betts on a ground out to short.
The designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani.
And here is Shohei Ohtani. For the first time in Jackson Wilson's career, he's going to go up against one of the best players this league has ever seen. Shohei Ohtani, strike 1. And a 94-mile-an-hour cutter at the knees. Wilson has done well against proven superstars. He recently just struck out Bryce Harper for the second time, and now he's got Ohtani fooled on an 89-mile-an-hour slider. 0-2. The 0-2. Outside, Ohtani's able to lay off the changeup. 6-6 game, 9th inning action here in Miami. Kiko Lowlams, it's a superstar moment indeed. Wilson has retired Harper, and now he's trying to get rid of Ohtani. The pitch just got a piece. Wilson, who's got 2 wins this year. He's 6 for 6 in save opportunities in his official rookie season. And here comes another 1-2 pitch to Shohei Ohtani.
At the ball.
Ooh. That was the right call by the home plate umpire, but that didn't miss by much. 2-2 to Shohei Ohtani. Here comes a breaking ball from Wilson. Ohtani doesn't take the bait. Full count. Power against power. Wilson against Ohtani here in the ninth. Going to go changeup. The delivery from Wilson. Ohtani with a high fly ball. Deep into left center field. And it is gone for a home run. Shohei Ohtani battles back from an 0-2 count, and look at Wilson. Nothing but respect for a proven legend. Ohtani gives the Dodgers the lead, 7-6. He wasn't even fooled by the changeup. If you're a manager, all you can do is shake your head. That's not against Wilson. That's just Ohtani being great. Wilson did all he could. He went outside with it, but Ohtani still with plenty of power to the opposite field. Just begging that would stay in the park, but it didn't. Now it's Kyle Tucker. Wilson in danger of taking his first loss of the year. Here's a strike over the outside corner to Kyle Tucker, who is 0 for 3. Wilson trying to get locked back in and keep his team within 1. The pitch to Tucker. 2 quick strikes. This is how Wilson started Ohtani off. Now let's see what he does against Tucker. Another solid left-handed batter. The pitch. Stays alive. 0-2. Wilson from the stretch. The pitch on the way. Tucker stays alive again. Just got a piece of that breaking ball. Another 0-2. Got him on the cutter. Wilson strikes out Tucker for out number 2, but you can see he's still a bit frustrated after giving up that solo home run to Shohei Ohtani. Had it not been for that, this game still would have been tied. Now Will Smith, strike one. This Dodgers lineup is full of sluggers from top to bottom. They repeated as World Series champions a couple seasons ago. And Will Smith is behind 0-2. That's the thing about Wilson. He's done a great job of getting ahead of these hitters. He just couldn't put away Ohtani. However, he does put away Will Smith. Still a great effort overall for Jackson Wilson. He just made one bad pitch. He retired Mookie Betts. He retired Kyle Tucker. He got Will Smith the ground out, but he gave up a solo home run to Shohei Ohtani at a 7-6 Dodgers. Marlins coming to bat, trying to rally. And they fall short. So Jackson Wilson takes the loss. Gave up a solo home run that broke the tie in the top of this night. It was Shohei Ohtani doing it for the Dodgers. But nothing hurt, really. We've been great as of late. The most important stat for Wilson is his save percentage. 6 for 6 in that regard. So even though we've still had some adversity when it comes to ERA, we're still doing our job as a closer. We've also gotten 2 victories, keeping the game tied. But after getting swept at home by the Dodgers, the Marlins dropped to 9 games under 500 at 11-20. And now they're in danger of letting this game slip away. They had a 6-2 lead, but the Nationals are trying to creep back up on them. Jackson Wilson trying to put out an 8th inning fire,
Number 17.
keep his team ahead.
Wilson.
4-out save opportunity coming up for Wilson, who is 6 for 6 in save opportunities, and he's making his 12th appearance.
Up next.
Eli Willits will bat for Washington.
Number 2. Eli Willits.
It has been a nightmare start to this season for the Nationals. They've only won 9 out of their first 31. There is ball 1 inside from Jackson Wilson, who went with the first pitch cutter to Eli Willits. He bats with the tying run at second base. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th. That misses out the plate. It's 2-0 from Jackson Wilson. Wow, we could have challenged that. I think that grabbed the outside corner. But no matter. Wilson, again, looking to bounce back, but he misses inside. It's 3-0. Catcher tells Wilson to take a few breathers. And now go after him right here. There's strike 1. 3-1 from Wilson. Now the next for Eli Willits, and he hit him. So that'll load the bases for Washington. And now it's going to be up to the shortstop, Nasim Nunez. You know what? It's not necessarily the end of the world. Unfortunately, we put the go-ahead run in scoring position, but now you don't have to worry about pitching in a hitter's count. You got to get ahead of this guy. The pitch by Wilson to Nunez. Strike 1 over the inside corner. Wilson trying to clutch up with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 8th inning. He's going to climb the ladder to Nunez. The pitch on the way. It's set up inside, and Nunez fights it off. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Wilson has his sign. Going to go back inside with the cutter. The pitch. Jam shot into left field. And somehow, some way, that is how we are going to blow our first save. Nunez with a defensive swing, and he could be the hero. Look where this pitch was. That was in on his hands, and now the Nationals have a 7-6 lead. The pitch by Wilson, strike 1 to James Outman. You got to be kidding me. None of those runs were charged to Wilson. They start the runner, and he is going to be out. But the Nationals take the lead. A hit batter, and then a clutch 2-out single by Nunez. Wilson again on the loser's end. And now the Marlins will have a chance to tie it up here. Man at third base with 2 down here in the ninth. And a fly ball into right. Back at the track, at the wall, and it's caught. Nationals win it. The Nationals beat Jackson Wilson in the 8th. And Wilson, who surrendered those 2 unearned runs, is credited with his first blown save of his rookie campaign. That is the 8th blown save in Jackson Wilson's career. Tough loss. We had a 6-2 lead. Been that kind of a year, guys. Wins are once again tough to come by for the Marlins. While we got a break in the action, I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in. This is Jackson Wilson with Ladder of Light Gaming. This is MLB 26, the show, Road to the Show here on GOAT Difficulty. And why is Coach putting me in this game? This is ridiculous. With my team down 12-3. Wow, they're looking for some extended innings out of me, it looks like.
Now pitching for the Marlins, number 17.
What an embarrassment. 12-3 Houston at home. And we're only in, what, the 7th inning?
Up next for the Astros, the left fielder, number 44, Yordan Alvarez.
So Wilson will enter this game. The Marlins trailing by 9. And he'll start by facing Yordan Alvarez, who goes after a first pitch cutter. It's strike 1. Now the next pitch. Inside, 1-1. Yordan Alvarez, the former World Series champion with the Houston Astros back in 2022, stands in.
Ball out.
Wilson gives him a changeup off the plate. It's 2-1. That didn't miss by much. Now the next delivery to Yordan Alvarez. That drops in there, and it's 2-2. Now let's tie him up with the cutter. The pitch. Alvarez stays alive. Wilson entering in bullpen relief for the 7th inning. In a non-save situation with his team trailing by 9. Alvarez extends the at-bat. 2-2. Wilson brings it. At the knees, but low. Ball 3 to Yordan Alvarez. Payoff pitch from Wilson. On the ground, that's a base hit. Alvarez hits it into the shift. And it's a leadoff hit to begin the top half of the 7th inning for Houston. Here's Christian Walker. That was a great at-bat by Alvarez. And now Walker shoots one to dead center. Back at the track. This is caught for out number 1.
Up next to
A restless crowd here in Miami
right.
with a faint applause for that defensive play. Miami trailing 12-3 against Houston. It's definitely been a game to forget, but they're still making a lot of noise for Jackson Wilson. Here's strike 1. Wilson's definitely become a fan favorite here in Miami. But for Wilson, it's not about being the popular one. It's about being the faithful one to his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's taken downstairs. 1-1 the count to Bryce Matthews, who is coming off the bench and batting for Houston. Astros all over the Marlins today, 12-3. There's strike 2 from Jackson Wilson. Now he's going to try to time in a knot with the fastball in. The pitch on the way. See you later. So after giving up a leadoff single to Yordan Alvarez, Jackson Wilson's able to get the final 2 outs of the 7th inning. But his team's got plenty of work to do on offense, trailing 12-3. While we got a break in the action, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule for the Miami Marlins. One more game with the Astros, and then they'll continue this homestand with the Giants. Then it'll be time to hit the road as they travel to Toronto and Cincinnati. Catch all the action on MLB The Show, Florida, the home of the Miami Marlins. Top of the 8th inning, 12-3. Houston remaining in complete control, and Jackson Wilson will go back to work for what looks to be a rehab/conditioning outing. He's been roughed up his last couple of outings. The organization's looking to keep Wilson sharp. He can go out there stress-free and continue to work on his game. Wilson was able to throw a scoreless 7th, and he's off to a good start here in the 8th, or so we thought. That looked like a ground out to second, but again, it was right in between the gap. That's the second hit that Wilson has given up here today. Good hitting by Yonder Diaz to handle that 0-2 slider. Now the pitch by Wilson to Isbell. That's fouled out of play. Isbell was picked up from the Astros. He came from Kansas City a couple seasons ago. Now the 0-1 from Wilson. That's down the left field line by Isbell. That's going to drop foul. 0-2. Wilson working from the stretch. The man at first, nobody out. The delivery. Isbell down on strikes. The solid outing continues for Jackson Wilson. A couple of strikeouts to his credit. But man, oh man, this has been a restless game for Miami. Majority of the fans are already gone home to beat traffic. And now here's a ground ball to second. This could be 2. And it'll be a fielder's choice.
Up next to the Astros.
So that'll be an FC 4-6. And now here is Cam Smith. Wilson's been the only bright spot today for the Marlins, especially on the mound. The Marlins gave up 12 Astro runs in just 6 innings. But Wilson was able to keep them off the board in the 7th. And now he's trying to pitch a scoreless 8th. Or that ERA a little bit. The pitch by Wilson is down and in, 2-0 to Cam Smith. 12-3 Houston Astros. In this mid-May interleague matchup from Miami. 2-0 from Wilson. That's lined into right. That's a base hit. Wilson went with the slider on 2-0. Cam Smith was ready for it. So the Astros have got a little something going here. And now here is Christopher Morel. Wilson will give him a first pitch cutter. And that's hit up the middle, a base hit. And another run is coming across for Houston. 13-3 here in the 8th. Max Muncy. Strike 1. Many also call him the Funky Muncy. And he's been nothing short of spectacular here today. 4 out of 5 with 2 home runs. And batting .344 in that leadoff spot for Houston. Up the middle, that's a base hit. And it's now 14-3 Houston. So the Astros tag Wilson for 2 more here in the 8th.
Up next to the Astros, the left fielder, number 44, Yordan.
Now Alvarez.
That's the ball.
That looked like a strike. See what the umpire has to say. Yep, he was correct. It's 1-0. So Wilson, after throwing a scoreless 7th, has given up 2 runs against the Astros here in the 8th. Now Alvarez, who singled off Wilson his last time up, stands back in. A wave and a miss, it's 1-1. Make it 1-2. As Alvarez hits that cutter out of play. Now the 1-2 pitch. Jackson Wilson is headed home. Ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. 3-run score for Houston here in the 8th inning. Boy, they are having their way against Wilson with 2 outs. I still don't understand why I'm in this freaking game. Coach just refuses to take me out. Now my confidence is gone. There's a strike. Christian Walker fouls away the slider. The pitch. On the ground to short. And finally that ends the inning. 3 runs score for Houston in the 8th, all with 2 outs. It has been a game to forget for Miami, trailing by 12.
Leading off for Houston, the shortstop,
Coach is still sending me back out there.
Matthews.
I cannot believe this. I'm getting tired and they're still throwing me. Here's a pop-up into left.
All you.
1 down to begin the top of the 9th.
Up next to the Astros. The
Here's
catcher,
Yainier Diaz. 1 out, nobody on. It's an onslaught here in Miami. Yeah, Kiko Lolams, I don't know what it is, but this is a disaster. I don't even know why I'm still in the game. Swing and a miss. But you know us. We're going to keep battling. We threw a scoreless 7th. Gave up 3 in the 8th, but we're looking a lot sharper here in the 9th. Wilson started out with a fly out. Now he's got Yainier Diaz set up at 0-2. The pitch on the ground is short. 2 gone here in the 9th. So Miami, who's nearly in last place in the National League East, turning to Jackson Wilson for a 3-inning outing in what has been a blowout here this afternoon. Kyle Isbell gets his second crack at Wilson, and that's strike 1. Now the 0-1. Line down the left field line by Isbell. That's a fair ball. That stays inside the left field line, and Isbell is going to stretch this into a 2-out double. Now does Coach take me out? No. Why not put a position player in there? Just going to burn my arm doing this. But hey, we put up a scoreless 9th inning. Fly ball into right, catch is made. So 2 zeros put up by Wilson today in this extended outing. Gave up 3 in the 8th, but that didn't even matter. We're getting destroyed. 15-3 Houston here in Miami. Come on, can I get put back in a safe situation, please? Is that too much to ask for? Well, it might be too much to ask for with this team, because we haven't been on the winning end very often. I think we're double digits under 500 now, which is unfortunate. I signed a 2-year extension with the Marlins this offseason. So hopefully we can show some improvement, but if not, I might consider going elsewhere. But we'll see. As you guys know, I love being loyal to teams. I stuck it out with the Vikings. I stuck it out with the Hornets. Now, granted, that was only 1 year. But if this goes multiple seasons in which we're not in contention for anything, we might try something else. But now Wilson will have an opportunity to lock up a save. Leading 6-5 here in the top of the 8th inning. Marlins trying to bounce back against the Astros after getting embarrassed last night. First pitch by Wilson to Kyle Isbell is in for strike 1. Isbell doubled off of Wilson yesterday. He would love at least a 2-bagger right here. His team only trailing by a run, the tying run at first. The pitch into left field. That's a base hit. Left fielder cuts it off. Tying run moves into scoring position. So Wilson, who entered this game 6 out of 7 in save opportunities, trying to hold on to this lead going into the 9th. Here is Bryce Matthews. Slider off the plate, ball 1 from Jackson Wilson. The 1-0. Line to the first baseman. Good location for that pitch from Jackson Wilson. It was hittable, and he jammed him with it. So Matthews makes the 3rd out here in the 8th. And the Marlins protect the 6-5 lead entering the top of the 9th. Wilson trying for the 4-out save. Teammates are unable to provide him insurance. So now he'll have to go through the 9, 1, and 2 hitters with not much room to breathe here in the ninth.
No, ball.
Strike one. That's strike one. That has to be a strike. Come on, Blue. Give it to me. Yep. That's over the outside corner. Good slider from Wilson to begin the inning. Now the 0-1 to Morrell.
That's a ball.
Just off the plate, 1-1. Wilson trying to pick up his 7th save in 8 opportunities as he deals with Morrell and then the top of the Astro lineup.
Ball.
That's right at the knees. Wilson wants another challenge. Got to make sure. And again, it's the correct call from Jackson Wilson. So that's 2 missed calls from the umpire. That would have been 3-0 on Christopher Morrell had it not been for the ABS system. And Wilson takes full advantage. A swinging strikeout of Christopher Morrell. Wilson with that nasty bender. Take another look from the ump cam. Morrell way out in front. 1 down here in the ninth. Yeah, we definitely need this save right here. Especially after what the Astros did to us yesterday. Need a little redemption. Here's Christian Walker. Strike one. Good pitch by Wilson up in the zone at 98. Wilson 6 out of his first 7 in save opportunities. For his career, he is 21 for 29. The pitch. Swing and a miss by Christian Walker. It's 0-2. Marlins finally trying to get back in the win column. Wilson's trying to do it for him with a 4-out save.
Ball outside.
Outside with the slider, 1-2. Wilson has his sign. Looks in. Wants the fastball up and in. And he jams Christian Walker. 2 down and 1 to go here in the ninth. So Jackson Wilson, who was called up by the Miami Marlins mid-season in 2027, trying to go 7 out of his first 8 in save opportunities in what has been his official rookie campaign. But he's got one more big bat in front of him, and that's Yordan Alvarez, who rips it into right field for a base hit. Wilson was able to jam Walker with that cutter, but not Alvarez. He was ready for it. And now the go-ahead run is coming to the plate, and Max Clark will pinch run over at first base. Max Muncy. Astros looking for some 2-out magic here in the ninth. On the ground to first, but Wilson puts out the fire. We got the save, Kiko Lowlams. Got her done. Wilson's back in the save column, and the Marlins finally have a taste of victory. It's been a while, but we'll take it. I think the majority of our wins have been with these uniforms. That's another reason why I think we should just keep these, because that's the original Florida Marlins logo. But I don't care what uniform we wear, as long as we're getting victories and I'm locking up saves. That's all we need right there. So Wilson, after giving up 3 runs in the 8th inning, picks up his 3rd scoreless inning of this series against Houston. He set him down in the 7th and the 9th in the previous game. And then he comes in with 2 outs in the 8th, keeps the Marlins in the lead today, and then works around a 2-out single from Alvarez, retiring Max Muncy to get the Marlins back in the win column. We've officially entered the month of May. The Marlins have one of the worst records in the league at 12-26. That victory right there snapped a 10-game losing streak. Man, oh man, that is so relieving. And now we're trying to win our first series in quite a while. We were down 3-1 entering the bottom of the 8th. But the Marlins put up 3 to give Jackson Wilson another save chance. Jackson Wilson, who picked up 2 saves earlier this year against San Francisco. That was in the Bay Area. We'll try to have that same fortune on the opposite coast. Here we are on the east side, Miami, Florida, as the rookie Jackson Wilson takes his warm-up tosses for this 9th inning against the Giants. Marlins 4, Giants 3. Elliot Ramos will be the first to bat for San Francisco, who is in danger of letting this series slip away after taking a 3-1 lead into the bottom of the 8th. Wilson trying to prevent a counterpunch and pick up his 8th save. Here's a swing and a miss, strike 1 on a 97-mile-an-hour pitch that was down in the zone. Now we go breaking ball. Another good release, swung on and missed by Ramos. They changed my jersey number again. I started out with number 17, now I'm 18. We'll have to see what that's all about. 0-2 pitch to Ramos. On the ground into right field, that's a base hit. So Jackson Wilson, who got ahead 0-2, gives up the single, and now the tying run is aboard for San Francisco here in the 9th inning. That caught a little bit too much of the plate. I mean, it wasn't a bad pitch. Ramos was off balance, but he was still able to get it through. Now we look for the double play ball with Matt Chapman. The pitch by Wilson. That looked like a strike. Let's challenge. Looked like it was over the outside corner. Yep, it's the same umpire. This umpire doesn't know his strike zone. Wilson's had to challenge 3 pitches in his last 2 outings alone. Here's the 0-1 to Chapman. Strike 2. So it's been nothing but strikes from Jackson Wilson out of the gate. Now he's going to go breaking ball down in the zone. 0-2 to Chapman. Just got a piece. Now let's try a slider. Runner at first, nobody out, top of the 9th. Marlins leading by a run. On the ground right side. That's a base hit. So again, another 0-2 pitch off the plate. The Giants able to fight it off, and now there's life here in the 9th inning. Look where this pitch was from Jackson Wilson. Chapman took the bait. He was completely off balance, but he hit it right in the perfect spot. And now Bryce Eldridge. The pressure is now on for Wilson here in the 9th. There's a strike. I mean, we're throwing strikes. We're letting him put it in play. The defense just hasn't been able to come up with it. Now the 0-1. We're going to go up and in to Eldridge, 1-1. So some tough breaks for Jackson Wilson to begin this 9th inning. Gave up 2 soft singles through the right side. And now he goes after Eldridge with a tying run in scoring position. That's foul. 1-2. Eldridge was looking for the tie, maybe even the lead. He was able to sneak it down into that right corner. 1-2 pitch. Big strikeout for Jackson Wilson here in the 9th. Runners stay at their original stations. These pitches have been super effective from Wilson off the plate. And look at his emotion. But he's not out of the woods yet. Jason Dominguez. 2 on with 1 out. The pitch by Wilson. That's a strike. It says a lot about a closer's character with how they handle themselves in these pressure situations. Wilson trying to get out of this with a 4-3 lead. Swing and a miss as he goes inside to Jason Dominguez. He's going to go back up there on 0-2. The pitch on the way. Oof, look out. Fastball at 98. Now we haven't won yet, Danielle. We still need 2 outs, but a chance to get one right here. A double play will end it. 1-2 pitch. Got him swinging, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts, and look at Wilson just fired up. It's like he's clinched a playoff berth. You think this means something to him? Look how dialed in he's been. And you also have to feel that that's a little frustration coming out too, because on any other day, soft contact like we saw with those first 2 hitters would usually result in an out. Can Wilson complete the comeback? Strike 1. Getab, you're probably not watching right now, but if you are after the fact, this would be a Hogwarts comeback. 2 on with nobody out in a 1-run game. Wilson trying to respond in a big way. Breaking ball off the end of the bat. All these perfect releases, and now the Giants are down to their final strike. The 0-2 pitch from Wilson. On the ground to second. Clean scoop. Bingo! Wilson into and out of trouble. Now we can officially say it, Danielle. We win. Marlins 4, Giants 3. Wilson 8 for 9 in save opportunities. 2 soft singles. The pressure was applied, but with his back against the wall, back-to-back strikeouts, and then the ground out to second. That's the way Wilson operates. Throw strikes, let your defense do the work. Put some extra stuff on a few of those too. Fix in a couple Ks. Man, did we need that. And to top it all off, that's a series winner for the Marlins. They take 2 out of 3 from the Giants. You just got to keep lowering that ERA. I think I got a message from the analytics department. I didn't read it, but I can guess what it probably said. Well, you got to step your game up. Well, if you're telling me that, you better tell that to the rest of the team too, because Coach has been putting me in some pretty odd situations, and the majority of the runs I've given up have been with my team already out of a game. I pitch a lot better in, like, the clutch moments, you know. Speaking of clutch moments, this is pretty tight. Bottom of the ninth, we may be winning 6-2, but the Blue Jays have a couple runners on base. So the heat is definitely being cranked up in Toronto, a great baseball city north of the border. But Jackson Wilson is trying to shine in the spotlight.
Number 18, Jackson.
He only needs 2 outs, but it's going to be tough because one slip-up could change this entire game. Marlins leading 6-2 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Wilson enters with 2 on base. This will be a 2-out save situation. Blue Jays mascot trying to pump up this crowd as a former St. Louis Cardinal, Juan Yepez, steps to the plate for the Jays. First pitch by Wilson is swung on and missed. He went right after him with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Now the 0-1 to Yepez. Strike 2. Wilson locked in. It's been nothing but strikes, especially as of late. Wilson's gone the entire season without issuing a walk. It's been super effective. That's taken outside for ball 1 on a breaking pitch. 1-2 the count. This is the first official season in the major leagues for Jackson Wilson. He was called up mid-campaign in 2027, and he was on the opening day roster for 2028, and he has found a home ever since. Fly ball into center field by Yepez. This is playable. 2 down. Jackson Wilson proving that he belongs as the Marlins closer, trying to pick up his 9th save in 10 opportunities as a rookie here in 2028. His team may be in last place, but he's doing everything he can to fire up the team and fire up the fan base. Keep their optimism up for the future. Here's ball 1 off the plate to Josh Kashovich, who's been strong with runners in scoring position, hitting .355. But Wilson has also been very strong in this spot. He proved it against the Giants in his last outing. He had 2 on base with nobody out, leading by a run, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out to second to stop the bleeding. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball hit in the left field. It's playable, and the Marlins win again. And Jackson Wilson, furthermore, saves it again. He came in a tight spot with 1 out, 2 on base, 6-2 lead. Didn't even let the Blue Jays chip away. He got the 2 batters he faced, put out the fire, and the Marlins looking to swim upstream. They're trying to make it back-to-back series wins. They improved to 15-27. They're still in dead last in the National League East, but nowhere to go but up. There's still a long season ahead of us. But we got to start stringing victories together fast because we're in the same division as Atlanta and Philadelphia. They usually win 95 to 100 games a year. This ain't no underdog division. So here is Wilson again. That ERA, which was once in double digits, is now down to 7.04. Wilson continuing to strive when it matters the most. He's been Mr. Reliable at that closer's role. 9 out of his first 10, and now here is Davis Schneider. To lead things off for the Blue Jays, who trail the Marlins 11-9 in a slugfest. Shut the door, finish the inning with the lead. That's all we care about. 6, 7, and 8 for Toronto against Jackson Wilson. And now it's a one-run game. As Davis Schneider goes after the first pitch, it was a cutter over the heart of the plate, and it's 11-10. That's the downfall of being a strike thrower. Sometimes you get the aggressive approach, but that's a lot of celebrating for Schneider for being down by a run. Here is Juan Yepes. On the ground, that's foul. You best believe Wilson saw that celebrating. And I know you guys did too. The 0-1. Back to the bat. Oh, ha, ha! Gold glove caliber play. That'll shut the crowd up. Wilson, who works on his fielding. The former outfielder in high school. Behind the back. Give me those. One down. Bet Schneider was in awe of that play. Strike one to Josh Kasevich. You can laugh, you can celebrate all you want, but it's on us to finish and get the last laugh. Marlins trying to protect the lead. Fly ball, that's popped into left. Wilson's 1 out away from finishing it off. It'll be up to the number 9 hitter for the Blue Jays. Wilson trying to go 10 for his first 11 in save opportunities. He has been on fire. Hyu Lee, the last man standing for Toronto. First pitch change up on the way from Wilson is a strike right at the knees. Look where that is. Perfect. Painting the corners and the edges. 0-2 or 0-1. Make that 1-1. As Wilson missed with the cutter. All right, catcher, let's see what you want. Oh, he wants me to make the decision. Okay, we're going to go breaking ball. Try to get him off balance. So when we do, strike 2. Blue Jays are against the wall now. Marlins 11, Blue Jays 10. A classic north of the border. Wilson trying to lock up a victory. The pitch on the way. Slider, but Lee doesn't offer. 2-2 the count. We're going to go fastball up in the zone. Up and in on him. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. Into center field. Marlins win it. Congratulations, Snyder. You just made yourself look like a fool. You celebrated like it was a tie game when your team lost. 11-10 is the final. Wilson bounces back after giving up that solo blast, retires the next 3 bases, and he remains efficient. That's 10 saves and 11 chances. You know, nobody's perfect. They're going to give up a run from time to time. That's got to be our mentality. Like, look, if you give up something, just shake it off, get back in there. It's like Rocky. When he gets knocked down, get back up and keep punching. Eventually, things will go your way. All of you Rocky fans will know what I'm talking about, especially that match against Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. Rocky had every reason to quit multiple times, but he didn't. That's the mentality that we have. Oh, and look, what do you know? It's Wilson against his favorite team growing up. Wilson actually made his major league debut against the Cardinals last year. See if we can keep this game tied at 1 and give us an opportunity to walk out of here with a walk-off. Walk out with a walk-off. That's a good phrase for us to use. So here comes Wilson, now wearing number 18 for the Miami Marlins. It's definitely closing time here in Miami. It's the late innings, last call for beverages, and hopefully it's the last call for the Cardinals. Wilson trying to keep them tied and help the Marlins do a walk-off victory in the bottom half. First pitch, check swing.
Here we go.
Challenge it. Challenge it. No, the call stands. I could have swore he went on that. But it is what it is. Now the 1-0 to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. He definitely went around on that one. Tried to make it 2-1 with one swing of the bat, but Wilson tied him up with a fastball. Now the 1-1. Drops the breaking ball on him. That's taken low and in, 2-1. Another good game for the Marlins. They're tied at 1 with the Cardinals here in the night. The pitch by Wilson, off the plate, 3-1. And the leadoff walk is certainly what you don't want in this situation. Wilson has yet to issue a free pass this year. Going to go after him, but it's going to be a changeup. The pitch, tap foul at the plate. Good offering by Jackson Wilson. Now we're going to go cutter. Here it is. Payoff pitch from Wilson. Here it comes, and he misses. A leadoff walk here in the ninth. Completely mistimed that. And now we got to work ourselves around another jam. Here is Victor Scott, who will come off the bench and pinch run for St. Louis. He's got good speed, so beware the stolen base. Now here is Nolan Gorman. If we end up losing this game, that walk is going to what ends up costing us. All right, Nolan Gorman. Defense looks for the double play ball. The pitch by Wilson, swung on and missed. Gorman, who's got plenty of power in his bat, trying to put the Cardinals on top. The 0-1 from Wilson. Ripped foul down the line. It's 0-2. Wilson with the fastball up in his zone, and now he's going to go change up away to Gorman, who is a free swinger and a very aggressive hitter. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Even on GOAT difficulty, it's the same Nolan Gorman. As a Cardinals fan, I know him all too well. He loves to chase that pitch out of the zone on 0-2, and Wilson made him look foolish right there. After giving up that leadoff walk, Wilson counteracts with a strikeout. 1 on, 1 out for the Cardinals here in the ninth. And that wasn't even close. Alec Burleson. The pitch by Wilson. Strike one. 96-mile-an-hour cutter. Burleson hitless today. He's 0 for 3. Trying to change that narrative right here. Breaking ball in the dirt. Scott takes off, and he's going to take second. So the Cardinals make Wilson pay for that wild pitch. And now the go-ahead run is standing in scoring position with only 1 out. I tell you, our catcher has not done a good job of keeping these in front of him. If I had Yadier Molina, that would never get by. That's routine for him. 1-1. Burleson fights off a tough cutter, and it's 1-2. Wilson trying to clutch up yet again. Again, he's going to go with the changeup off the plate. The pitch to Burleson. Just got a piece. 1-1 game, top of the ninth inning. Wilson entered with the game tied. Walked the leadoff batter, struck out Gorman. And now he tries to retire Burleson. Spot off. 1-2. Slider. 1-2 pitch. Inside. Good take by Gorman. 2-2 from Jackson Wilson. A nice crowd here in Miami. Great mix of Cardinal and Marlin fans to see this mid-May showdown. The pitch by Wilson. Ripped into right field by Burleson. And it is caught for out number 2. Scott with good speed. He'll take third base. But the Marlins will certainly take that. They'll trade it out for a tag any day of the week. So here we go. Mason Wynn. Go-ahead run at third base for St. Louis with 2 outs. It's crunch time, ladies and gentlemen. Who wins? The pitch. Strike one from Jackson Wilson. A perfect slider that caught the outside corner. Now he's going to go breaking ball. He can't afford a wild pitch right here. The pitch to Wynn. On the ground to third. Wilson clutches up yet again for the fish. On that logo is a swordfish. Right now, Wilson is sharpening the sword and piercing his opponents in crunch time. This is the effective pitcher that Miami has wanted him to be. But now he's got to go back out for the 10th inning and face Pedro Pajes. We're not going to intentionally walk him. First pitch is a strike. That ghost runner at second is not charged to Wilson. It's an unearned run. But we haven't been good in these spots because our teammates just haven't been able to push across their ghost runner. I got so frustrated about that last year. Pedro Pajes fouls that out of play, and it's 0-2. Boy, we'd love a strikeout right here. The 0-2 pitch.
the ball.
Oh, come on, Blue. Come on, Blue. Give me that corner. Sit down, Pajes. Nasty slider. One down in the 10th. Thank you, ABS system. My goodness. All right, now we give the intentional walk to set up the double play. 2 on with 1 out. And in walks Curtis Mead. But first things first, the Cardinals will make a switch. Jake McCarthy will enter the game and run at first base. Curtis Mead 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 groundouts. Wilson trying to clutch up again. Unfortunately, he didn't that time. That's up the middle, a base hit. The unearned run will come in to score. It's 2-1 St. Louis. Curtis Mead delivers against Wilson again. And now it's on the Marlins to get out of this jam without any further damage being done. Nathan Church. The pitch by Wilson. Ripped into right, and that's a base hit. That'll score another run. 3-1 St. Louis. 1 earned run and 1 unearned run crossing here in the 10th. And now the manager will make a move. So Wilson throws a scoreless night. Gives up 1 earned run in just under 2 innings. Got the big first out here in the 10th, but unfortunately, the slider wasn't where I wanted it. And the Cardinals are now in control 3-1. And they're going to win the game. I already know they're going to win the game. I bet you we don't score. How much you guys want to bet? Told you, we never score in extra innings. Ever. Runner at second, nobody out. Doesn't matter. We still can't score. This team sucks, man. This team is awful. 1 mistake by me, and I lose. This is a perfect example. If I give up just 1 run in that 10th inning, I lost. And I have to pitch at GOAT difficulty with that ghost runner right there. The fact that we cannot score that run ever is mind-boggling to me. So I think I took the loss. I didn't even look, but I was just so disgusted with the end result there. So the Cardinals take game 1 of this series, a final of 4-1. And of course they sweep us. Go figure. Oh my goodness. And my jersey number switched again. Now I'm wearing 19. Jeez, make up your mind, organization. Gosh. All right, here we go with more extra inning action. Okay, if I get us out of this and we don't score in the bottom of this 10th, just going to let you guys know I am not going to be a happy camper. Come on, guys. Let's get this batter and let's get up the bat and win this thing. Wilson will enter for Miami. It's not a safe situation, but it definitely feels like one. If we can set down Matt Wallner, give our team a chance to win the game with a runner at second, nobody out in the bottom of this 10th. First pitch from Wilson is fouled away. That's a good cutter to start him out with. Strike 1. Wilson ready with his next sign. The pitch.
No, that's low.
Another close call by our home plate umpire. But he did get that one correct. It's 1-1. 1-1 pitch to Wallner. On the ground to first. Jackson Wilson does his part. Now can the offense do theirs? All they need is some good quality baseball. Move the runner up and then score it. That's all we have to do. And we did. Oh, thank goodness. Walk off for Miami as they beat the Minnesota Twins and give Wilson his 3rd victory of the year. Thank you, teammates. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's my record now? 3-3? No, 3-2. I didn't take the loss against St. Louis. All right, we'll take that. Good way to get back in the win column for sure. Now, we definitely need a lot more of these if we're going to contend for a playoff spot, but we'll worry about that later. Right now, it's all about just maintaining our effectiveness and proving we belong in the majors. A walk-off 2-run home run for the Marlins. And the win goes to Jackson Wilson, his third. Wilson now 5-10 in his big league career. He also has 25 saves. And speaking of Wilson, here he comes for another appearance against the Minnesota Twins in interleague action. This is MLB 26, the show, with yours truly, Action Jackson Wilson. If this is a save situation, we're going to try to make it 11 for 12. That's a percentage well over 90. But it won't be easy, leading by just one. This stagnant Minnesota offense trying to get some life against the kid, Jackson Wilson, here in the ninth. All it takes is one good swing to tie this game. First pitch from Wilson. He's going to go with the fastball to Abrams, and he cannot believe that call. What do you want me to do? Put this right in the middle of the plate? Come on, Blue. Really? How can you not call this? Strike one to C.J. Abrams. Another successful challenge from Jackson Wilson. Now he drops the breaking ball on him. 0-2. Now we go with the cutter in on his hands. 0-2 to C.J. Abrams. See you later, alligator. Trying to screw me over with these bad calls. Come on, man. Come on, Blue. You ain't stopping me today. One way or another, I'm getting through this inning. That's my mindset. I'll be the first to eat my words if Minnesota beats me, obviously. But I got a good feeling about this. Keep throwing strikes like we've been doing. Let the defense do the work behind you.
Ball one.
Umpire, hey. You may have gotten this one right, but we're going to look. Nope, you missed another one. You missed another one, Blue. Come on with these botched strike calls, man. It's a perfect way to start an at-bat right there. Now the 0-1. Breaking ball on the ground, and that's a base hit. I mean, I got to throw it in the middle of the plate, otherwise I'm not going to get a freaking call. I'm going to run out of challenges. It's just stupid. All right, tying run at first base, one out. We need a double play. The pitch by Wilson. Off the plate, ball one to Danny Jensen. 1-0 Minnesota, Miami over Minnesota. 2 outs to go here in the top of the ninth. Wilson with a strikeout. Gave up a 1-out single. And now here is the next pitch for Danny Jensen. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back sliders. This one in the strike zone. It's 1-1. Drop the changeup on him. Keep it down. The 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss again. Wilson getting locked in. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jensen. The pitch on the way. Just got a piece. Jensen, who's a free swinger, he's very aggressive more often than not. Wilson smells blood in the water.
That's ball two.
He tried to put him away with that breaking ball, but Jansen wisely lays off it. Not much room to breathe here. 1-0 Miami. Top of the ninth inning. The pitch by Wilson.
Ball.
Just outside. Now it's a full count. Vargas waiting on deck. We're going to go cutter right here on 3-2. The pitch by Wilson. Here it is. On the ground to second. Double play. Take your time. Yes! Despite the bad umpiring, the adversity, the saves continue for Jackson Wilson. That's his 11th. 1-0 the final. Man, oh man, our offense has got to wake up. Jeez, putting so much pressure on our pitchers. But we got it done. We got her done, man. Good way to end the series. Well, we got a break in the action. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. You're watching the official rookie season for Action Jackson Wilson here on MLB The Show 26, Road to the Show. May God continue to bless each and every one of you. And if you haven't made Jesus Christ your Lord and Savior, I pray that you would do so now. He's the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. If you don't have Him, there is no life after death. There's just suffering. There's condemnation. It's not to scare anybody, but that's what we all deserve for our sins. But God did not want that for us. He didn't create hell for us. He created it for Satan and his followers, those that reject Him. So if you reject Christ, you're rejecting your only way to salvation. So repent, turn from your sin, turn to Christ. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Kiko Lolams, amen. Trust in Jesus. I take his advice as well. Wise words of my brother in Christ there too. We got to put our trust in Jesus, man. Like, I don't care what people think about me speaking him on here, but we have to be able to, even if there's persecution. I love you guys, but God loves you more. And I hope you guys enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are new. We got plenty of room on board here at Ladder of Light Gaming. Thank you guys once again. 4-1 Miami, back to our regular scheduled programming. We have hit the road for the Mile High City. Wilson trying to continue his mile-high level of pitching as he gets ready for another 9th inning. His team's got more of a comfortable cushion for him, leading 4-1, but that lead is never safe, especially on GOAT difficulty. Here's a fly ball into center field. First pitch, and Wilson gets the first out. Sent the center fielder sprinting back a few. A lot, actually. That actually carried all the way in front of the warning track. The way that came off his bat, I didn't think it was going to go that far, but we'll take the out either way. And now Henry Bolt, who has the only run for the Rockies today. It came on a solo blast earlier tonight. Other than that, it's been all Miami leading 4-1. How about Jackson Wilson? 2 pitches and nearly 2 outs. Great effort by the left fielder, but his attempt falls short, and it's going to be 1 on with 1 out. Bolte handles a tough pitch. Left fielder nearly squeezed that, but the Rockies now have some life. Trailing by 3 here in the 9th. They need another base runner to get the tying run to the plate. Under the glove of Wilson, and up the middle for a base hit. That'll get 1 run in, and it's 4-2. So now Wilson is looking to hit the reset button. Still leading by 2 here in the 9th. And now he'll go after Ezekiel Tovar. The Rockies not going away. They're showing a lot of fight down the stretch, and now the catcher will come out and look to calm down Wilson. He still has a 4-2 lead, but you got to be careful. The tying runs at the plate. With the way the ball travels in this park, you don't want to give him a pitch too good. Tovar lines one into right. That's a base hit. Boy, the Rockies have figured Wilson out so far in this 9th inning. Didn't I tell you no lead was safe, guys? Look at GOAT difficulty. It doesn't matter what I throw at them. They're finding holes. It's just like real baseball. You're going up against big league hitters. It's tough to get them out. Up the middle. Is this another game-ending double play? It is! It is! And it was against somebody who almost never hits into double plays. When it's your year, it's your year. And right now, it's Jackson Wilson's year. Despite all the adversity we've been put through with a bad team and in these tough spots, Wilson is still getting these saves, one after the other. That's 12 out of 13, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you kill a rally. Boldly going after him with that slider and getting the ground out, hard hit to second. Great job by the teammates. Team win. And now we're back, ready for more. Another big save last game for Jackson Wilson. He's looking for another. 12 out of 13 this year with a 3-2 record. And he will deal with Ezekiel Tovar here in the bottom of the 10th inning with the Marlins leading by 1. But it's going to be tough with that ghost runner. Boy, if we can get out of this without allowing a run, boy, wouldn't that be something. Good speed over there at second base, so anything to the outfield ties this game, you would think. Fly ball into left, but this will not get it done. It's caught, it's shallow, and the runner has to stay put at second. Great job by the Marlins outfield, not just to make the catch, but to get that throw in cleanly. And now, Won-Bin Chu. We're going to walk him and set up the double play. 2 on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th. Miami leading 4-3 as Jordan Beck walks to the plate for Colorado. Wilson trying to get back-to-back saves here in Denver. But this is a little tougher with that automatic runner over at second in a one-run game. That's a beautiful breaking ball for strike one over the outside edge. There's a look at Jackson Wilson, the young kid out of the University of North Carolina, drafted in the third round of the 2025 draft. Here he is as a rookie in 2028. On the ground, that goes foul, 0-2. Great job by Jackson Wilson to get ahead of this hitter in this kind of situation. 0-2 pitch. Oh no, and that gets away. So Wilson's game plan with the double play backfires. He tried to put him away with a slider, but he threw it to the backstop. And now the Rockies just need some clean contact to tie up this ball game. We need a strikeout. We need a strikeout, and we need it now. Can Wilson still clutch up? The 1-2 pitch. Yes, he did! The runners will stay put. Marlins still with the lead at 4-3. And now it comes down to a one-on-one battle against Wilson and the hitter. The nasty breaking ball, they just couldn't resist it. Wilson making up for his own mistake. Now it's up to Caleb Hobson. First pitch from Jackson Wilson. Here it comes. Hobson, a swing and a miss, and he was looking to be the hero. Now he needs a hit. A sacrifice won't do anything. Tying run at third base. Winning run at second base. Both runners advanced on a wild pitch from Jackson Wilson, but he picked up a strikeout to keep him right there. Now the 0-1. Strike two to Caleb Hobson. Wilson one strike away from getting out of this. Breaking ball, catcher, be on your toes. 0-2 pitch. Up the middle, tie game, and the Rockies are going to try to win it. They got a late break at third, and he's safe. Rockies win it, down to their final strike. Wilson went with the breaking ball, and they win it. That pitch was supposed to be lower in the zone, but Hobson does it. I'll take the blame for that one because, number one, that pitch was a little too good, and also the wild pitch. Had it not been for that, we would have still been playing. The winning run wouldn't have scored. So I'll take the blame for that one, not just the blown save, but the loss. Tough way for this game to end. Kept it down in the zone. We got the ground ball, but again, it was right where it needed to be. If that was hit anywhere else on the infield, the game's over. We win. So Wilson's streak of successful saves finally comes to an end. He was one strike away from an epic save in Colorado, but the Rockies, down to their final strike, trailing by a run, second and third, 2 out, they win it. Wilson picks up the loss. That's his third of the year. All right, let's hit the reset button. Let's keep it going. We got another extended stream today here on Ladder of Light Gaming. I'm off work. At no other place I'd rather be than with my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and you guys here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Jackson Wilson here, bringing you MLB The Show 26, Road to the Show on GOAT difficulty. This is my official rookie season with the Miami Marlins. I was called up last year in 2027. Now here we are in 2028. We're in last place, but we're sticking it out with them. Look at all these losses, man. Uh-oh. Chance for redemption potentially against Colorado. Here we go. Extra innings, 2 on base. This time we're in Miami. It's tied at 8. Look at our record, 21-38. But the crazy thing is, as pathetic as the season we've had, the Rockies have been surprisingly worse. But they beat us last time out. So there's going to be redemption on Wilson's mind here today. He only needs 1 out to keep this game tied and send the Marlins to the bottom of the 10th with an opportunity to walk it off. Wilson against Tovar, the pitch. Lined, caught, and that's the inning. There's a little redemption for Jackson Wilson, especially if his offense can win it for him. This time Wilson gets out of the 10th unscathed, and his teammates do their job. Walk it off, baby. Marlins pay back the Rockies and pick up their 22nd victory of the season. Another losing streak is history. And the victory goes to yours truly, Jackson Wilson. His 4th dub of his rookie year. He improves to 4-3. I tell you what, as a team, it hasn't been pretty, but we got a winning record. I love it. Gotta love it, guys. Good start to this series for the Marlins. I'm in an adverse battle with my ERA, but ultimately when it comes down to getting the final 3 outs of games in save situations, we've been delivering. There's been some outings where I haven't had it, obviously, but we've been with the big league club this entire season, so we're doing something right. Yeah, hopefully we'll be above 500 in no time, but Kiko Lowlams, I hate to break it to you, but I think we're still 17 games away from that. We'd have to win 17 straight to even get to 500. That's so embarrassing. Now, granted, we don't have to do that all in one batch. It's a long season. But we got to get off to a much better pace. This will most certainly help, though. Marlins leading 5-2, and Wilson looking to wrap up another save. Here's a ground ball into the hole, but that's going to be an infield single for the Rockies, who are again showing lots of fight. Wilson had a 3-run lead to protect in Denver last week, but the Rockies chipped away before Wilson finally slammed the door. Got that right, Kiko Lambs. 1 game at a time. Here's strike 1 from Jackson Wilson. Marlins trying to take this series at home against Colorado. It'd be their first series win in a couple of weeks. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2, and Wilson getting back to throwing how they expect him to. 0-2 pitch, try to put him away with the slider. Yes, sir! Wilson says goodnight to Ezekiel Tovar. And hopefully he'll be saying goodnight to the Colorado Rockies 2 batters from now. Here is Jordan Beck. Wilson completed a goal of 10 strikeouts in a month. Not bad for somebody who's pitching to contact. Beck, line drive into center. That's a base hit. Here are the Rockies again making noise late. You got 2 on with 1 out as Jordan Beck was ready to smoke that fastball. Now Henry Bolt, who represents the tying run. The pitch by Wilson. That's downstairs 1-0. Wilson on the season, 12 out of 14 in save opportunities. 2 outs away from save number 13. Here's a 1-0 to Bolte. Foul ball off to the left. It's 1-1. Bolte has struggled in this spot. He rounds out the Rockies lineup. And we're back to the top after this. There's a base hit into right. And the Rockies just keep on finding holes, and a run will score to make it a 5-3 game. So 3 of the 4 Rockies have reached here in the 9th inning against Wilson. But we do have the lead still. Come on, let's go. Keep your head in the game. This is the adversity I was telling you guys about. Garcia, strike 1. Jackson Wilson and the Marlins leading 5-3 in the 9th. Wilson gave up a single, a strikeout, and then 2 more hits, which allowed a run to score. Look out, that's going to go the backstop, and the tying run is going to move into scoring position. So Wilson all of a sudden is getting a little wild. All I'm trying to do is go inside on him, and our freaking catcher can't freaking stop a nosebleed. Now the 1-1. Line drive into left. That's caught for out number 2. The runner's going to try to tag, and he's out! No! No! Challenge this! Challenge it! Can we challenge that play? Come on, Blue. Come on, he looked out. Now, granted, we're still in the lead, and now, oh my gosh, he's taking me out of the game. He's taking me out of the game. Why are you taking me out of the game, Coach? This is my battle.
For the Marlins, number 45,
Okay, we got the win. We got the win. 5-4. Much respect to the Rockies for another good fight, but We're the ones celebrating after the dub. We'll take it. See, now we're 15 games under 500. Yeah, one game at a time. Wilson with his second hold of the year. Do we have a chance for a sweep? You bet we do. Unless they put me in a situation where we're tied or behind. Come on, let's think optimistically. We're going to be winning this game. And it looks like we are. I think we're up by 3. No, we're up by 1. I think that's what the scoreboard said. Either way, I think this will be our first sweep all year if we can hang on. Now it's Ryan Ritter. I think Ryan Ritter was the one who got the walk-off hit against me in Colorado. Yep, let's get the brooms ready. 3 outs away, strike 1 from Jackson Wilson, who's looking to bounce back after a rough outing yesterday. The 0-1. A bunt. Wilson hops on it quickly, steps and fires to first. Got him. Wilson with the infield assist. 1 down in the ninth. Ezekiel Tovar. 1 for 3 with a single. He bats from the right side. Wilson also throws from the right side. The pitch, strike 1. Again, Wilson not the pitcher to be up there taking, or else he'll get ahead of you the count more often than not. The 0-1. On the ground up the middle, that's a base hit for Ezekiel Tovar. So there's the tying run for Colorado. They haven't had trouble handling that slider from Jackson Wilson. Again, we're getting ground balls, but they're just putting them in the right spot. Let's stick with the slider right here. Jordan Beck likes the fastball, so let's go with the sweet stuff.
That's a ball.
That's a ball, are you sure? Let's make absolute certain, ref. Okay. Ball 1 outside. 4-3 Marlins, top of the 9th inning. Jordan Beck at the plate representing the go-ahead run for Colorado. The pitch by Wilson is lined fair inside the third base bag. The left fielder's cutting it off. This is going to be a close play at third, and he's going to be safe. Another ground ball that sneaks through. The Colorado Rockies just are doing no wrong. Now Bolte. Good to have you here, Heatav. Here's a fly ball into right. And the Rockies are going to tie this game up. Catch is made in front of the warning track. It is 4-4 here in the ninth. Now the Marlins still have a chance to sweep, but they're going to have to do it in walk-off fashion. The Rockies have rallied against Wilson here in the ninth. Back-to-back hits, and then a sacrifice fly ties the score. And again, it's the bottom of the order doing the damage. Luis Garcia, strike 1. So Jackson Wilson trying to keep himself alive for another victory, potentially. And he's got 2 quick strikes to Luis Garcia. He's jamming with the cutter up and in. 0-2 pitch. Nope. Backed him off the plate. It's 1-2. Jackson Wilson with his 3rd blown save of the season. 2 have come against the Rockies. Now the 2-strike pitch to Garcia. A little tapper that's going to go foul near the dugout. And out of play. 1-2. Wilson with the next pitch. Breaking ball down and in. Good eye by Garcia. A battle of bottom feeders here in Miami. Marlins and Rockies. Deadlocked at 4 here in the 9th inning. And Garcia lines one into left. That's a base hit. So the beat goes on still for Colorado here in the 9th inning. And now Wilson will be lifted. It's been a rough series for him. And the manager will take the ball from him in a 4-4 game. Well, unfortunately, there is no sweep. Put the brooms away. The Rockies come back to win it. A final of 6-4. We didn't get the loss, but we got the blown save. But you got to give the Rockies credit. It didn't matter what we did. They hit the ball in the exact right spot every time. Nothing we can do about that. But just get the next one. All right, maybe the flip of the calendar will be better for us as we get ready for the month of June. Here on Ladder of Light Gaming, this is MLB The Show 26. Road to the show with Action Jackson Wilson. Looking to get back on track here in the Bronx, taking on the New York Yankees, the defending world champions. For those of you that may be new to my series, the Yankees won the world championship in both 2026 and 2027. So shout out to all the Yankee fans. You guys are back to being the dominant face of baseball. But Jackson Wilson's going to try to keep them quiet for today. Leading by 3 here in the bottom of the ninth. Wilson's coming off a blown save against Colorado. He'll look to set down the Yankees here in this hitter's haven that is Yankee Stadium. Wilson fearlessly pumping it in the strike zone. Ground ball to third. That's fair. Nice pick. 1 pitch. 1 out. Jackson Wilson is fulfilling a dream. Being able to pitch at Yankee Stadium, that truly is quite the honor. Not only that, Wilson has an opportunity to get the final 3 outs in a win. It's one of the joys of being a closer. Here's Ben Rice. 1 out, nobody on. Strike 1 over the inside corner from Jackson Wilson. Now he's going to go up in the zone a little bit. The pitch to Rice. Missed up and in. 1-1 from Jackson Wilson, who entered this game 12 out of 15 in save opportunities. Got an ERA just over 8. Looking to take that down. The pitch. There's a ground ball in the hole by Rice. He's slow a foot. Shortstop's got plenty of time. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the ninth for Jackson Wilson, who's pitching in a pressure-free situation. 7-4 our score. And now, another superstar stands in Wilson's way. It's the cover athlete, Aaron Judge, the last man standing for New York. All rise. Here comes the Judge. Rest in peace, George Sterling, who coined that phrase in his broadcasting. I just want to get an out. That's all we need. Wilson's last superstar showdown was against Ohtani, and Ohtani took him deep for a solo home run. What will Aaron Judge do? He'll look at a first pitch slider for strike 1. Another superstar moment right here as Wilson deals an 0-1 fastball to Judge. Swung on and missed. Judge tied up. And now Wilson 1 strike away from closing it out against the defending champs. The 0-2 pitch. He struck out. Oh my gosh. And that call stands? You got to be kidding. Where was that pitch at? I thought I just struck him out. Okay, that was the right call. Oh my gosh. Now the 1-2 to Judge. Struck him out! Aaron Judge, take a seat. This trial is over. We find the defendant guilty of a strikeout. And we also find Jackson Wilson guilty of savagery. Wilson silences the crowd here at Yankee Stadium, striking out Aaron Judge to cap off a dominant 13th save. It's crazy how baseball works. The last place Rockies looked like a world beater against me, but against the Yankees, nothing happens. It's crazy. You just never know, man. On any given day. Good way to end that series. That's the only time we're going to see the Yankees all year, because we daggum sure ain't going to play them in the postseason. The only way we'd see the Yankees again is if we get to the World Series, but the Marlins in the World Series. Not this team. 25-43. It has been a rough stretch. But that's how it goes, man. As you guys know, like, you got to go through the pain in order to get the gain. We usually start out slow. We go through the adversity, but We're usually really good at finishing. Now we're making our way into another historic park, Wrigley Field. Chicago, the Windy City. Jackson Wilson looking to protect the 3-1 lead and give the Marlins another victory in front of a raucous crowd. This brings back memories for Marlin fans. 2003 was the year that the Marlins won the pennant here in this very park. They came back from 3-1 to defeat the Chicago Cubs after the Steve Bartman incident of Game 6, and they went on to beat the New York Yankees in a 6-game World Series. That was the last time the Marlins were relevant in terms of being a championship contender, 25 years ago. Jackson Wilson trying to change the narrative, but he can only do so much as a closer. Can't close games if his team's not scoring runs. But they've scored enough so far here today to give him an opportunity. Up 3-1 here at Wrigley. Here is Dansby Swanson, the former #1 overall draft pick from 2016. He looks at a strike from Jackson Wilson over the outside corner. Now Wilson's going to go to that same spot with the changeup. Ground ball to second. Nice play. High throw, but the first baseman able to reach up and save it. Dansby Swanson retired, 1 down. Great play there at second. Swanson caught that off the end of the bat. That was not an easy play. That was actually a lower stab than I think he was anticipating. And now we got a couple of Tar Heels going at it. Jackson Wilson and Michael Busch. Slider fouled off for strike 1. So Wilson, who was roughed up against the Colorado Rockies, looks like he's getting back into his own form against the Yankees and the Cubs. Here comes another slider to Busch. That's fought off. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Great pitching placements by Jackson Wilson, and now he's going to go with the inside cutter. The pitch. Busch pops it foul. 0-2. Wilson ready from the stretch. Catcher puts down a changeup. Wilson throws it. Downstairs to Michael Busch, below the knees, 1-2. If Wilson can save this today, he's now got 14 saves on the year in 18 opportunities. 1-2 to Busch. Strike 3 called over the inside corner. Busch wants him to take a look, but that looked like a strike, and it was right over the inside corner. 2 down. Sorry, Busch, nothing you can do about that one. That's what they call a perfect pitch. Now Pete Crow Armstrong, the last man standing for Chicago. Wilson not afraid, going right after him with the fastball. Swung on and missed. Strike 1 to PCA. There's a look at Craig Counsell in his 5th year managing the Cubs. Trying to get them back to the postseason this year. Popped foul, strike 2 by Pete Crow Armstrong. The Marlin pitchers have been in full force here today. They've limited the Cubs to just 1 run. Wilson 1 strike away from capping off this dominant performance. 0-2 coming, change up. Ground ball foul off the bat of Pete Crow Armstrong. No fear, we're going fastball up and in on 0-2. The pitch to PCA by Jackson Wilson. See you later! PCA is buried, and so are the Cubs. Wilson puts the final nail in the coffin, his 14th save of the season. Marlins win it 3-1 here in the friendly confines. Come on, let's go. We needed that. Back-to-back 1-2-3 saves. Don't even give the other team a chance to rally. Another great effort by Jackson Wilson. The ERA back to 7.4. Do we have another save opportunity coming up? We sure do. Here comes Jackson Wilson, 14 for 17 in save opportunities, looking for his 2nd save of this series against the Chicago Cubs. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. 10-6, Miami. Nico Horner will bat with the tying run on deck. Wilson trying to put out this fire and give the Marlins a much-needed series win in this tough atmosphere. Wrigley Field, strike 1. Kind of makes you feel like it's 2003 all over again. The Marlins dominating the Cubs here on the road in that National League Championship Series, the Marlins won 3 of the 4 games that were played here. And that gets away, and our catcher still can't make a stop. You don't make that kind of motion on that kind of a pitch. You just move your knees. Like, look, he just stabbed at it. Look at this. Yadier Molina would have been shuffling to the left, like immediately when he saw the movement of that pitch. Strike 2 to Nico Horner. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Wilson pitching with 2 base runners on. Neither of those base runners are charged to him. This is his first batter he's faced, Nico Horner. A 2-strike pitch coming. On the ground right side. This should be playable. 1 run will score. It's 10-7. At this point, Wilson will trade outs for runs. It doesn't even affect my ERA. If I can just get us out of here with a victory, that's all that matters. So the Cubs cut the Marlin lead to 10-7. They got another runner standing over at third, but they need another guy to reach to get the tying run to the plate. Here is Brian De La Cruz. Wilson so far has retired all 4 Cubs he has faced in this series. Starts De La Cruz out with a cutter, and he swings and misses. And a pitch off the plate, 0-1. He went with the aggressive approach with his team trailing by 3 and first base open. Breaking ball bounced foul. 0-2 by Wilson. Now we're going to go breaking ball even lower. 0-2 pitch to Cruz. On the ground to third. Again, the Marlins will trade an out for a run. 2 down here in the 9th. Now it all comes down to Wilson and the batter, 1-on-1. Cubs trying to make a game out of this. They've only got 1 out left to work with. Here is Willie Castro. First pitch from Jackson Wilson. Another cutter. That's fouled off. Strike 1. That's a good pitch to throw, especially against the team that's coming out swinging. Castro is a triple shy of the cycle. Wilson trying to spoil that. And not only that, break these fans' heart with a loss. Ball 1 inside. 1-1. Wilson 1 out away from his 15th save. He would match his total from last year when he was called up mid-season. It'd be career save number 30. And there it is. Ground ball to short. 30 career saves for Jackson Wilson. He's got 15 in each of his first 2 seasons. And in his first full campaign, his actual rookie season, Wilson 15 out of 18 in save opportunities. Marlins take 2 out of 3 here in Chicago. Let's go, guys. I said that maybe a flip of the calendar will change our fortune, and so far it has. This is the best Jackson Wilson has looked all year. He got off to a strong start. Kind of stumbled in the middle, but here we are, just taking it one day at a time. One game at a time. Pretty soon we'll be at the All-Star break. Now we got the Nationals in town.
Now pitching for the Marlins.
All right, for those of you that need an update, we'll continue our stream up until the All-Star break, and then we will call it a day and get ready for The Walking Dead later tonight. Any of you that may be watching for the first time, we don't just do sports on this channel. We do a variety of games. Like I said, The Walking Dead, we have made it through the first 2 seasons. We are now in Season 3, A New Frontier. We're about to enter Episode 4 out of 5, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the story. So be sure to get caught up on the journey if you wish, and tune in for more action tonight. But first things first, we got more action on the way here on MLB The Show. We're in the middle of Wilson's rookie season. It's the year 2028. It's MLB 26 Road to the Show on GOAT difficulty. Glad you're with us here on Ladder of Light Gaming. This is yours truly, Action Jackson Wilson, the closer for the Miami Marlins. Looking to hang on, leading 4-3 against Washington. There's a strike to Will Scadam. Wilson blew a save the last time he faced Washington. That's only happened 3 times all season.
That's the ball.
Changeup misses down and away 1-1. It'll be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters for the Nationals. Trail the Marlins 4-3 here in this season opener. The bottom 2 teams in the National League East looking for some optimism. There's a good start for the Nats. A base hit up the middle on a Wilson slider. Will Scadam represents the tying run, and now Kalen Culpepper. Wilson with the pitch. Fastball misses in. It's 1-0. Culpepper 1 for 3 today with a double. He stands in representing the go-ahead run for the Nats. Wilson has his sign. He kicks and deals. Runner goes. It's in the dirt. And no chance because the catcher can't come up with it cleanly. So the tying run moves to second base with nobody out for the Nationals here in the ninth. Leading 4-3. It's going to go fastball 2-0. There's a strike. 2-1 from Jackson Wilson. And now the next pitch. Line foul. 2-2 to Kalen Culpepper. Let's go slider. The pitch by Wilson.
That's ball 3.
Off the plate, ball 3. On deck is James Outman. You know what? We're going to go breaking ball. If he hits it, we'll tip my cap to him. But if not, greatness. 3-2 coming. Fly ball into center field. That's down for a hit, and the Nationals tie the game. Yep, I'm a man of my word. I tip my cap to him, and now we throw it away. 4th blown save of the year for Jackson Wilson. Back-to-back hits. Gave up a single, a stolen base, and then a game-tying double. It's 4-4 here in the ninth, and that certainly didn't help our cause either.
Second base, number 26. Up next to the Nationals, the left fielder, number 31, James Outman.
Here's strike 1 to James Outman. Wilson's got to treat this like a new start. In a 4-4 tie. Outman lifts one into left. This is playable. 1 down. The go-ahead run will stay at second base.
Up next for Washington, the designated hitter, James.
So the good news and the bad news. Bad news is we've blown the save, our 4th of the year. The good news is we're still tied. We're not losing yet. Hopefully it stays that way. Here's James Wood. Fly ball in and into right field. This is going to be caught. 2 down. The go-ahead run will move up to third. Make clean throws. Gosh, our catcher is so bad on defense. I can't tell you how many pitches he's let go to the backstop or ones that he can't come up with cleanly. Now it'll be up to Brady House. Batting with the go-ahead run at third with 2 outs in the ninth. First base open. The pitch by Wilson. Fly ball into left center. Wilson blows the save, but he keeps the game tied. After having a runner at second with nobody out, that's how you bounce back right there. You don't tuck your tail, you stay in the game, and Jackson Wilson keeps his team in it. Marlins coming up with a chance to win it in the bottom of the ninth.
Leading off for Washington, the right fielder.
All right, on to the 10th inning. 4-4 game. Nationals and Marlins. Dylan Cruz to lead off against Wilson. Strike 1 on a 95-mile-an-hour cutter. Wilson looking to get locked back in after giving up back-to-back hits that led to the tying run scoring in the ninth. Fouled off the bat of Cruz. 0-2. He went after that changeup. The 0-2 pitch. A strikeout of Cruz to begin the 10th. The runner will advance to third with 1 out. Had to make sure we got the sure out right there. And now let's see what the manager wants to do. Does he stick with Jackson Wilson? The pitch to Eli Willits with first base open. He does. So a big spot in this game. We're in the 10th inning. Wilson looking for a shallow fly ball or a short ground ball. The pitch. Ball 1 inside to Willits. I want to walk him, but at the same time, if I give out the intentional walk, the manager's going to take me out. I want this to be my battle right here. Ground ball foul, it's 1-1. Eli Willits 1 for 4. The pitch on the way from Wilson. Tied him up. Popped up into shallow left. Will they try to take the lead? There's the catch. The throw has got to be perfect, and it is! We got him! Jackson Wilson and the Marlins defense into and out of trouble. What clutch pitching, and the Marlins have won it. The Nationals rally, but the fish keep swimming. We blew the save, but we got the win. Let's go. That's how you bounce back right there, guys. Ever since we gave up that tying run, we retired 5 batters in a row. Let's go. Come on. Good stuff. Big win for the Marlins to get this series going. I believe this is a 4-game set, too. All right, let's go, guys. We need to get more. Oh, man, that's my only appearance. You got to be kidding me. Oh, boy. All right. Man, this season's really flying by. Working our way through the month of June. Currently on June 15th against the Atlanta Braves. Marlins ain't been doing so hot. 28-46. Overall, pretty solid season for Jackson Wilson. 15 for 19 in save opportunities. ERA ain't the most attractive, but we've made a lot of big pitches this year for our team. The ERA doesn't tell the whole story. But these are the kind of games that we got to step up in right here. Against contenders. We did it against the Yankees. We did it against the Cubs. Now we got to do it against our rival, the Atlanta Braves. Here comes Jackson Wilson, once again rocking those teal Marlin unis. Black Marlin lettering across the front with the numbers on the back. And the Florida Fish logo on the cap. Wilson enters this game 15 of 19 in save chances. Marlins trying to start out this series on a winning note against hated rival Atlanta. These guys have gotten into some very chippy brawls over the years, and it started with the Ronald Acuna Jr. drama. And the Braves are coming out swinging against Jackson Wilson. There's a fly ball into left. That's off the wall. And Drake Baldwin is going to have a stand-up double. Well, not a stand-up double, but a double in which he slides into second. And the tying run is coming up for Atlanta. Boy, that thing was laced. I thought that thing was going to get out of the park. Now Stephen Kwan representing the tying run for the Braves. And the catcher will go out to talk with Jackson Wilson. First pitch to Stephen Kwan is on the ground left side. And the shortstop, all he can do is knock it down. That's an infield hit. And the first two are aboard for Atlanta here in the night. It's not a lost cause because it now sets up a potential double play. And now David Hamilton will come off the bench to pinch run for Stephen Kwan. Michael Harris, who is a double play candidate, will stand in. The pitch by Wilson. Strike one. Harris taking all the way with his team trailing 4-2 in the ninth. The pitch by Wilson. Swung on and missed. Michael Harris fooled by that Wilson changeup. He's quickly in the hole, 0-2. Wilson looking to deal right here. The 0-2 pitch to Harris. Cutter lifted in the air to right. Down the line, and it is gone. Atlanta has the lead. Michael Harris takes Wilson deep for his 5th blown save of the year. And Atlanta goes in front, and there's still nobody out here in the 9th inning. Look where that pitch was to Harris, and he hooked it down the line. And Wilson is done. Unbelievable. Got to battle through it. This is what happens in the game of baseball. One humbling punch after another. Oh my gosh, we still won the game. All right, teammates, I see you. Thank you. That's basically their way of repaying me from last year. I completely blew it today, but man, were they ready for prime time there. Wow, what a wild game this was. 7-6 Marlins over the Braves. Three hits and 3 earned runs given up by Wilson in that outing. But I picked up the win. Did I get the win? No, I think I already had 5 wins. Yeah, and that was my only appearance. Go figure. Oh, that stunk. We still lost the series. Oh my gosh, we're so bad. 29-48. All right, let's see if we can get back on the winning track right here. Wilson against the Mets at Citi Field. Leading by just 1.
Now pitching for Miami, number 19, Jackson.
There's a look at the numbers for Jackson Wilson. 15 for 20. He's got that 75 save percentage. The ERA has climbed back up to 7.9. But this is still a young kid. He's got a lot to work on, but he's also showing a lot of promise. Brett Beatty will lead things off for the Mets. One swing of the bat and we got a new game. Beatty trying to play the hero for the Mets. Strike 1 from Jackson Wilson on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Last time Wilson faced the Mets, he gave up 4 runs in a non-save situation. And he's quickly ahead of Brett Beatty, no balls and 2 strikes. Everybody's standing here at Citi Field. The 0-2 pitch from Wilson. Beatty lays off 1-2. Wilson making his, I believe, his 30th appearance of the season. Trying to keep the Mets at bay here at Citi Field. There's a ground ball, third base side. Fielded on a hop, 1 down. Good start for this 9th inning for Jackson Wilson.
The right fielder, number 15.
Now Jesus Sanchez. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch by Jackson Wilson. Floats over the inside corner, but it's taken for a ball. 4-3 Miami over New York. The pitch by Wilson. Back to Wilson. Will step and throw to first, 2 down. Wilson starting to rack up the infield assists. 1 out left to get here at Citi Field. Wilson looking a lot sharper against the Mets than in his previous outing. He'll start Voit out with a slider. The pitch. Ball 1 down and in. Marlins 3, Mets 2. First game of a 3-game set. Wilson trying to slam the door. 1-0 pitch. Inside 2-0 to Mitch Voit. Now, you don't want to give him the fastball, but it's too good. Let's go cutter. 2-0 pitch. Lined into right field. That's a base hit. Mets not going away. Voit worked the hitter's count, and he took advantage. He represents the tying run over at first base. He was late on that cutter, but he was able to do enough to keep this game alive. Now A.J. Ewing. The pitch by Wilson. That's fouled away. 0-1. Ewing, who's left the park 5 times this year, represents the winning run for the Mets. Tying run at first, 2 out. The pitch by Jackson Wilson, headed home. On the ground to third. And the Marlins come into Citi Field and get a win. And Wilson picks up his 16th save overall in 21 opportunities. A much-needed 0 for Jackson Wilson, following a rough outing against Atlanta. Wilson also blew a save against Washington recently. But he's hanging in there, maintaining his roster spot. I think the front office also understands that it doesn't matter what Wilson does on the mound. I mean, this team still has a lot more concerns other than some stumbles in the road by their closer. Well, this may be an opportunity for us to finally get a series win as Jackson Wilson will re-enter. Wilson with a great record this year, 5-3, 16 for 21 in save chances. He's on the bump again, looking to close out the New York Mets. Marlins leading by 2. It's 3-1. And the first one up against Wilson is Marcus Semien. 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming up for the Mets. First pitch to Semien is grounded into the hole for a base hit. So just like that, the tying run is coming to the plate for New York. And it'll be Brett Beatty, who is 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts and a lineout. Everything down. The pitch by Wilson.
That's a ball.
Oh my gosh, I thought that was a strike. That looked good to me. Oh, never mind. It's 1-0. Failed challenge by Jackson Wilson. Now here comes a 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good slider. Great pitch selection by Jackson Wilson on 1-0. Now the 1-1 to Beatty. Swing and a miss. And he swings through the fastball. Tying run at the plate for the Mets. Bottom of the 9th inning, 3-1 the score. The 1-2 pitch from Wilson to Beatty. Struck him out. 82-mile-an-hour changeup off the plate. Beatty just couldn't pull the string. Big pitch right there from Wilson off the outside. Everything was around the plate right there. And in the perfect spot. 6-inch break on that changeup for a big first out here in the bottom of the 9th. Marlins 3, Mets 1. Jesus Sanchez will come up. He represents the tying run. Fly ball into left center field. This ball is going to get down, and that'll send the runner to third, and this will probably make it a 1-run game, and it will. It's 3-2 Miami. Jesus Sanchez rips his 11th double of the year, and now here is Brian Torres. Mitch Voigt, representing the winning run, will stand in for the Mets. Wilson's going to challenge him. Fastball, strike 1. Again, this is another one of these situations where Wilson has bent, but he's trying not to break. The pitch, tapped foul, 0-2 on Mitch Voigt. Wilson ready from the stretch. Tying run leads off second. The pitch to Voigt from Wilson. He got him on strikes. 2 down. And the tying run will stay put over at second. Big strikeout for Wilson. A high leverage one at that. First Beatty and now Voigt as the victims of Wilson. 2 gone. 1 to go. This is a tight game here in New York. A.J. Ewing, who made the last out in the previous game, stands in for the Mets.
That's a ball.
Ball 1 inside. Tying run at second. The Mets entered this game trailing by a run. They got a leadoff single from Semien, and then Sanchez smoked an RBI double into the left center field gap. The pitch by Wilson, swing and a miss by Ewing. The bottom fell out of that pitch. It's 1-1. The Mets have not been able to lay off that changeup away, so Wilson's going to go right back to it, and that's a called strike. 1-2 the count. Wilson trying to lock up save number 17. The pitch on the way. Breaking ball at the knees over the inside corner, but the call is going to stand. Wilson doesn't get it, and the game continues 2-2 on Ewing. Slider. 2-2 coming. Ground ball. Shortstop knocks it down and keeps the Marlins in the lead. Big time play by the shortstop, even though it didn't result in the final out. That saved a run, and A.J. Ewing is over there at first base shaking his head. But it's all not lost for the Mets, because now Wilson has to go after a superstar in Francisco Lindor with the game on the line. That's taken inside, ball one. Miami 3, New York 2. Wilson, who has picked up 2 big strikeouts here in the night, trying to hang on. His team dangling by a thread down the stretch. Check swing, Lindor did not go. It's 2-0. You know what? I'm going to take the risk. Going to go fastball up and in. Lindor fouls it off. 2-1. What a way to end this baseball game, regardless of how it ends up. 2 determined guys going at it in the middle of the ring. Here's a swing and a miss by Lindor. And again, the Mets are down to their final strike. 2-2. We're going to go cutter up and in. The pitch by Jackson Wilson on the way. Lindor pops it into center field. This battle belongs to Jackson Wilson and the Miami Marlins. Wilson strands the tying run at third and the winning run at first, and he retired Francisco Lindor to end it. Wow, what a resilient effort by Jackson Wilson, coming back from 2-0 to set Francisco Lindor to the showers. Wilson now 17 for 22 in save opportunities this year. Or is it 17 for 23? Can't remember. Well, the bottom line is we got 17 saves. That's all that matters. I don't know, guys. For a season that's been rather frustrating in terms of team success, we are showing promise here in the major leagues. We got a lot of room to grow yet, but as a rookie, you can only be expected to do so much. But I'm excited to see where we end up. That's for sure. All right. Got a few more games for you here today, and then we will call it a do at the All-Star break. You're watching Jackson Wilson's official rookie season play out here on Ladder of Light Gaming. This is MLB 26, the road to the show on GOAT difficulty. Yours truly is a closing pitcher for the Miami Marlins, who lead the Cincinnati Reds 3-2 in our return home. Not much room to breathe, but Jackson Wilson has been reliable more often than not in this situation. However, the last time Wilson was on this mound, he blew a 2-run lead against Atlanta. He gave up a 3-run homer to Michael Harris Jr. As a matter of fact, we're coming off a series sweep against the Atlanta Braves. Wilson 17 for 22 in save chances on the year. And he'll start by facing Matt McClain here in the top of the 9th inning in South Florida. Heart of the order for the Reds. The pitch by Wilson. Strike one to Matt McClain. Gosh, I just love those uniforms, man. I know I said that a lot already, but it's true. I really wish Miami would go back to that. Team name, the Florida Marlins, and the original uniforms in the original logo. Strike two to Matt McClain. Ahead in counts. This is where Wilson needs to be. Now he's got some pitches to work with. McClain grounds it foul down the first base line as he went after a curveball. Now it's slider time. The 0-2 pitch. Gets past the catcher to the backstop. 1-2. The umpire will give Wilson a new baseball. 1-2 pitch to McLean. Lifted in the air. Out to right. This is in front of the warning track. And it's gone. We're tied. Man, that ball just kept on carrying, and that's the 6th blown save of the year for Jackson Wilson. Matt McLean took a slider the other way over the fence. That's absolutely unbelievable. And that ball just kept on carrying. There's another look at it. Fielder thought he had a beat on it, but the ball just refused to come down until it was over the fence. Well, we got to take the same approach from that other game against Washington. The game may be tied, but now we start fresh. End the inning without allowing another run. Go right after him. The pitch to Marte. Fouled off, strike one. Fastball again. The 0-1. Just missed the upper corner. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson winds and fires.
Nope, inside.
That also misses, and it's 2-1. Novi Marte with a hitter's count of 2-1. The pitch by Wilson, tapped foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Shortstop to his right and safe.
He's good.
Infield single for Cincinnati. Like, I don't know what's going on, man. Something that's hit that weekly. The shortstop should not be on the edge of the outfield grass. Why are we playing them so deep? We give up more infield singles than anybody, I swear. Caratini.
Ball.
That's a strike, by the way. Wilson wants the umpire to check that out. I know that's going to be reversed. 0-1. So the Reds tie it in the top of the ninth on a leadoff solo home run by McLean. And now following an infield single, here is Caratini in the hole 0-2 against Wilson. 0-2 pitch. Fastball just inside, and Wilson will take a look at it. Ooh, nearly struck him out. But the at-bat continues. It's 1-2. Breaking ball. Caratini lays off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson has another sign. Runner at first, nobody out in a 3-3 game in the 9th inning. Here's a ground ball to short. This could be 2. And it definitely will be 2 with Caratini's speed. After giving up the leadoff solo home run and the single, Wilson executes the pitch and wipes it out with a twin killing. 6-4-3. Now Key Brian Hayes. The pitch by Wilson. It is a strike over the outside corner. Hayes today 0 for 3 with a strikeout, a flyout, and a pop-out. Wilson ready with the pitch. Slider rolled over to short. Again, we're playing it way too deep on the grass, but this time he's able to make the throw over to first. But the Reds tie it. A leadoff solo home run, but Wilson keeps the game even. Bottom of the 9th coming up in Miami. And the Marlins back me up again. Yes, sir, it wasn't in vain. Gave up the home run and the base hit, but we pitched well after that, and as a result, we got the W. That's my 6th of the year. Let's go. The celebration is on here at Lone Depot Park, the home of the victorious Miami Marlins. You know, it really is a blast playing in the big leagues, even if your team's not winning. Felt like we've gone on quite a journey to get here. It's nice that we're now fulfilling our dream. All right, here we go again. This is another opportunity for Wilson with a 1-run lead against Cincinnati. There's a look at his numbers, a 6-3 record. Wilson picked up the win last game. Blew the save, but he was able to keep the game tied. And the Marlins walked it off in the bottom half of the frame. Here is Henry Davis, who last year hit a walk-off home run against Wilson in Cincinnati. He's got a chance to be a hero yet again. First pitch from Jackson Wilson is a called strike. A 94-mile-an-hour cutter. Here's the 0-1. Davis quickly with 2 strikes. Now the 0-2. Wilson wipes him out on 3 pitches. Ball gets away. Catcher hops on it quickly and makes the play at first. 1 down. 2 to go here in the ninth. Ever since that home run, Wilson has retired 4 straight. He's obviously had a roller coaster ride here in his rookie year, but now he has an opportunity to get redemption against Matt McLain. He took him deep for a game-tying home run last game. Strike 1. 0-1 to Matt McLain. Breaking ball be coming next. The 0-1. Strike 2. Boy, Wilson brought the sweet stuff tonight. Now the same pitch that he hit a home run on, but it's going to be further off the plate. McLain able to lay off. It's 1-2. 3-2 Marlins in the ninth. Wilson's going with the inside cutter. The pitch on the way. Strike 3 called. Overturn that, Blue. Come on, I know that's strike 3. You ain't fooling me with that one. Oh my gosh. Oh, McLain, you lucky sucker. 2-2 pitch. Nope, can't get him. Full count to Matt McLain. All right, here we go. We're going to go up in the zone with a fastball. The pitch by Wilson to McLain. Ripped to third. 2 down in the ninth. Let's go. Credit to McLain, but we won the battle this time. Now Ellie De La Cruz, another superstar with the game on the line. Wilson faced Lindor against the Mets with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, leading by a run. He faced Aaron Judge in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, his team in the lead. He got through both of those battles successfully. Now he faces Ellie De La Cruz in a 1-run game against Cincinnati. The pitch, fouled away. 1-1. Good spot for Wilson to put that fastball. Now here comes a 1-1 delivery to Ellie De La Cruz in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike. Everybody on their feet here at Lone Depot Park as the Marlins look for the victory, and Wilson looks for his 18th save. The delivery. De La Cruz on the ground to first. And he'll take it himself. That's your ball game. Wilson came over just in case. Reds go in order, and the Marlins are back in the winning column. 18th save of the year for Jackson Wilson as he gets fist pumps from his teammates, per usual. Let's go. We definitely needed that. Cincinnati's had my number as of late. It's good to get payback against a team like that. So Jackson Wilson, all smiles following that performance. ERA back down to 7.74. Do we have a chance at more redemption? Yes, we do. So Wilson in this series has picked up a win, and he's also picked up a save. He'll try to get even more as the Marlins look for the series sweep against Cincinnati. They just scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 8th to take another 1-run advantage. 6-5 as Jackson Wilson goes through his warm-up stretches and gets ready for what is sure to be another heated battle against Tim Tawa and the Reds. Tim Tawa, who also had a heroic hit against Jackson Wilson the previous year. He'll lead it off. 5, 6, and 7 hitters, or rather 8, 9, and 1 for the Reds, who are trailing 6-5 against the Marlins. There's strike 1 over the inside corner. Wilson ready with his next pitch. Here it comes. Strike 2 to Tim Tawa. Tawa. Open stance. 0-2 pitch from Wilson. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Yeah, Tawa, I'm not who I used to be. You may have gotten the first laugh, but I got the most recent one. Henry Davis, who's also been on Wilson's hit list. Ever since that walk-off home run, Wilson has had Davis's number. He's looking to continue that. Strike 1. The effectiveness of these pitches have been dominant the last couple of hitters for Jackson Wilson. The 0-1. That's over the inside corner, 1-1. Taking a little bit inside. 1-1 pitch. Tapper to short. Going to be a tough play, but it's clean. 2 down. Henry Davis will take another seat. Jackson Wilson beats him again. And now, what do you know? Mr. Game-tying home run himself, Matt McLean. Wilson retired him last game. He's looking to do it again. He's going to go first pitch changeup. Here it is. Up the middle, a base hit. Matt McLean keeps the game alive for Cincinnati. Wow, 3 hard-hit balls for Matt McLean in 3 at-bats against Jackson Wilson. Hit a game-tying home run in Game 1. Had a hard ground out to third yesterday. And now today he keeps the game alive. A hard-hit single up the middle. And now here we go again. Wilson against Ellie De La Cruz. That looked like a strike. We got to challenge that. Looked like it might have nibbled the corner, but it was inside. 1-0. For the second straight night, Wilson has an opportunity to retire De La Cruz to cap off a win. This is truly the final showdown. Runner goes. Strike 1, the throw down, and McLean is safe. Cruz taking all the way, and McLean now has his 14th stolen base. And now all of a sudden a base hit by Ellie De La Cruz would even this score for the Reds, who have out-hit the Marlins 11-5. But they find themselves down in this game. 1-1 to Cruz. Inside 2-1. That was a 96-mile-an-hour cutter. Game on the line here in Miami. Wilson, the right-hander, against Ellie De La Cruz, the lefty. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Fair inside the bag. Wilson blows another save against Cincinnati. De La Cruz is nabbed trying to stretch it into a double, but the game is tied. Down to their final out. A base hit and an RBI single for Ellie De La Cruz following a stolen base. But the Marlins have an opportunity to win this in the bottom half, and now we go to the 10th with Sal Stewart. That's the 7th blown save of the year for Jackson Wilson. And he starts Sal Stewart off with a strike. But Wilson is still eligible for another win. We just can't catch a break sometimes. The 0-1. Another fastball with fearless Jackson Wilson going right after Sal Stewart with Ellie De La Cruz at second base and first base open. 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called, and Sal Stewart, with all due respect, didn't want anything to do with Wilson that entire at-bat. Couldn't get the bat off his shoulder. Wilson completely froze him. 1 down in the 10th. Here is Noel V. Marte. We're going to leave first base open. We're going to go after him. Strike 1. This will be another great bounce-back inning for Wilson if he can keep this game tied. Hit 2 outs, nobody on in the ninth. The Reds with back-to-back hits to tie the game. Now a ground ball rolled slowly to third. That goes foul. 0-2. This is Ladder of Light Gaming with Axon Jackson Wilson. MLB 26 Road to the Show rookie season. We're going until the All-Star break. There's still more action ahead, so stay tuned in. 0-2 pitch. Lifted in the air to the right field. Shallow. This is playable. De La Cruz will make the catch. Runner tags, and now he retreats back to second. Yeah, we're the blue team, Danielle. The aqua blue team. 2 down here in the ninth. Or 10th inning, excuse me. Sorry, guys. It's tough to read comments and broadcast at the same time, but we're doing it. All right, here we go. Victor Mesa Jr. Can Wilson keep this game tied here in the 10th? The pitch to Mesa. Fought off. Will this stay in play? It will, but it's going to drop foul. Strike one. This is Bikini Bottom blue, Danielle. The pitch. High fly ball into right field. Back at the track, and it's gone! Reds take the lead 8-6. After blowing the save, Wilson gives up the big fly in the 10th. This will be a well-deserved loss. Wow, so close to keeping this game tied. But like the Rockies, the Reds are one of the few teams that just keeps finding ways against us. So the Marlins so close to getting a sweep, but it looks like they're going to come up short. Wilson blows his 7th save, and it looks like he's in danger of losing his 4th game as he exits. 3 runs allowed on 3 hits. And now Will Warren will take over for the Marlins. Frustrating, it really is, but I'm leading our team in wins, seriously. You know it's bad when I'm leading the team in wins. I'm a reliever. I'm not even a starter. But say it ain't so, Joe. 1-run lead, 2 outs, top of the 9th. They come back to win it. Tell you, sometimes baseball will really stab you in the heart, you know. But that's just how it goes sometimes, y'all. Just got to keep battling through the adversity. All right, bottom of the 9th inning in St. Louis. We had a comeback of our own in the 9th. Now it's on me to keep this game tied. Maybe put myself out there for another win. Rocking the 4th of July caps today in honor of the patriotic festivity. 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th. Cardinal fans hoping for 2 fireworks shows. The one that goes off after a win, and then the fireworks at the Arch after the game. First pitch from Wilson is right at the knees to Victor Scott, but called a ball. We're going to immediately take a look at that. Wow, it was the right call. So 1-0 from Jackson Wilson. Appearing in a 3-3 game in the 9th. There's a ground ball into the hole right side, a base hit. Teams continue to find holes against Wilson. Changeup was grounded to first, but in the perfect spot. And now Josh Smith. Smith 0 for 4. He popped out back in the first. Now the catcher will come out and have a word with Wilson. He's got to get through this inning without allowing a run. The pitch by Wilson, here it is. Strike one. 95-mile-an-hour cutter. It's 0-1. Winning run at first base with good speed and Victor Scott. And that's lifted in the air to the right. That's going to drop, but Victor Scott got a late break, and he's going to be nailed at second. Tough break for the Cardinals, but that's going to be a fielder's choice. 9-6. We'll take it. Definitely not complaining. That wasn't a hard hit ball anyway. He didn't deserve that hit. Now Alec Burleson on the ground. This is a double play. We're going to extra innings. Steps on the bag and throws across the diamond to first. Jackson Wilson delivers against his favorite team. Close to his original hometown of Litchfield, Illinois, St. Louis, Missouri, 50 miles away. Extra baseball, free baseball here on the 4th of July. Marlins and Cardinals at Busch. Oh, now the pressure's on. Since we couldn't score, now we got to keep that ghost runner from coming across. First pitch from Wilson is a strike to Taylor Ward. Wilson threw a scoreless night to force the 10th. But after his teammates failed to take the lead, the pressure's really on now. 0-2 to Taylor Ward as Wilson looks for a big put-away pitch right here. The 0-2 pitch, breaking ball, and he just got a piece. 0-2 the count to Taylor Ward. We're now in the month of July. We're getting close to the All-Star break. Here on MLB 26, Road to the Show. Wilson's rookie season, 2028. Up and into Taylor Ward. 1-2. Wilson in his second inning of work. Going to keep this game tied at 3 in the bottom of the 10th. The pitch. Breaking ball is grounded to second. That'll move up the winning run to third. 1 down. Wilson picks up the first of 3 high leverage outs here in the bottom of the 10th. And now he's going to go after Nolan Gorman, who is known to have a lot of strikeouts. The pitch. Tapper foul, strike 1. With any other hitter at the plate, we'd probably walk him. But we also need a strikeout if possible. And Gorman definitely is a free swinger. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2. Winning run at third base with only 1 out. The pitch by Jackson Wilson on the way. In the dirt. Gorman keeps the bat on his shoulders, but you best believe we're going to go to that pitch again. Bottom of the 10th. It's 3-3. Another curveball on the way to Gorman. Taps it foul. Now we're going to go change up low and in. 1-2 to Gorman. In the dirt. Again, Gorman lays off. You know, honestly, this isn't a bad approach because if Gorman doesn't chase it and he walks, then we still have the double play set up. I'm going to drop the slider on him, though. 2-2 pitch. Fought off into left field, and that's a winner. Gorman walks it off for St. Louis. And this loss is on my teammates for once again, not being able to score with a man at second, nobody out. Wilson takes the loss despite going 2 innings without allowing an earned run. That was a tough pitch that Gorman hit. Give him credit. Wilson drops to 6-5 overall. So the Marlins come back, but it wasn't enough. They weren't able to do the same thing in the 10th. Man, we just aren't getting much action in these series. All right, one more series remaining until the All-Star break. At the White Sox. And we have an opportunity to go out of today's stream with a bang. This will be our final game for today. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. The Ladder of Light Gaming with Axon Jackson Wilson. MLB 26, Road to the Show. Here on MLB 26, the show. 5-3 Marlins. Last game until the All-Star break. Wilson making his 37th appearance. I don't think I made the All-Star team this year, but we've still had a lot of success, despite this not being the best season as a team. That's another thing we need to realize. I'm just not going to be able to play up to my full potential until I play for a winning ball team. All right, here we go. First pitch here in the bottom of the ninth inning on the south side is ripped into right for a base hit. Hard contact by Brooks Baldwin, and he's aboard for the Sox.
The first baseman, Ivan Melendez.
Here's Ivan Melendez representing the tying run. Now the catcher will go out and discuss the game plan with Wilson, and here we go. First pitch to Melendez is outside for a ball. The crowd rises to its feet here on the south side of Chicago. White Sox looking to rally, trailing 5-3 in the ninth inning. Strike one from Jackson Wilson. 1-1. Wilson, meanwhile, looking for his 19th save of the season. The pitch on the way. Tapped foul, 1-2. Melendez, number 7 hitter for the White Sox, digs back in and takes ball 2 outside. Runner goes. Good throw by the catcher, and he's out. Wilson finally gets help from his backstopper. The catcher with a dart to second base, and that's big because that wipes the tying run off the board for now. And now a 2-2 pitch to Ivan Melendez from Jackson Wilson. Headed home now. Hit in the air to left field, and it's a 1-run game. Wow, how big was that play by the catcher now? Had it not been for that, it would have been another blown save. But we still have the lead. 5-4 here in the ninth inning. Look where this fastball is. In on his hands, and Melendez hits it out. Now Montgomery, who has also hit a home run against Jackson Wilson in his career. That's taken for a strike. Bottom of the ninth inning, 5-4 Miami. Wilson trying to seal the deal. Get the final 2 outs. The pitch, swing and a miss. 0-2. Breaking ball. Here it comes. Tap foul. Another 0-2. Thought about it, but he was able to lay off. 1-2 the count. 1-2 from Wilson.
Nope, that's a ball.
Are you sure that's a ball, umpire? Yep. Wow. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Montgomery. Gonna give him the fastball. Here it is. Ripped to short. Gloves. Throws. Dug out. 2 away. Here in the ninth.
Number 13, second baseman, Dan Antonotti.
Good job, defense. All right, 1 more out. Come on, let's do this. Antonotti. First pitch from Wilson. Strike 1. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Got to get ahead in the count. The 0-1 to Antonotti. Skips in there. 1-1 from Jackson Wilson, who's 1 out away from his 19th save. In 26 opportunities. The pitch. Strike 2 to Sam Antonotti. Wilson has his sign. The kick and the pitch. Fouled away. 1-2. Let's go Cutter. Sets up inside. The pitch. Up the middle, a base hit. The game continues. Now Brandon Marsh, who was just acquired from the Phillies, comes up representing the winning run. The pitch by Wilson, strike 1 over the inside corner to Brandon Marsh. A solo home run earlier in the frame for Chicago. They've gotten 3 hits here in the bottom of the 9th. Runner goes. That's down and away, and there's a steal for Sam Adenauchi. And now a chance for the Sox to tie this game up. Quick pitch by Wilson, lifted in the air, down the left field line by Marsh. This will get out of play. And again, the White Sox down to their final strike. 1-2 pitch to Marsh. In the dirt, blocked by the catcher. He'll hold the tying run at second. I'll tell you, it is not easy to get the final out of a game, guys. 2-2 pitch. Strike 3! Wilson has done it! Brandon Marsh caught looking, and we can finally exhale in Miami. Wilson closes the first half out on a winning note. Picks up his 19th save of the year in 26 opportunities, working around that solo home run, which would have been a game-tying home run had it not been for his catcher cutting down somebody trying to steal. Yeah, I gave up 3 hits. That definitely wasn't my best inning, but a save is a save, guys. Man, this definitely was a first half to forget, though. 23 games under 500 and sitting in dead last are the Miami Marlins with a record of 37-60. That is not going to cut it. But we're doing the best we can. That's all we can do. All right, guys, that's going to conclude today's episode of Ladder of Light Gaming here on MLB 26, Road to the Show. Here on MLB 26, The Show. This is Axon Jackson Wilson bringing it to you as usual. May the peace that passes beyond all understanding and the unconditional love of Jesus Christ be yours today. In his holy and almighty name. And I will see you guys for the second half of my rookie campaign. And I will also catch you guys later tonight on The Walking Dead, A New Frontier, Episode 4. Take care, guys.